Welcome to Dwarven Forge Live. This is On the Anvil episode 53.
Yes, you confirmed with me right before this
I
started.
know, but then I forgot because I said, was it 53 or 54? And I couldn't remember. Episode 53 of On the Anvil. This is the show where we take you behind the scenes here at Dwarven Forge with no tech issues whatsoever anytime. Show you what we're working on, what we're thinking about, hang out, talk about gaming, and have a drink. I am Nate. Joining me about 6 feet away over there is a guy with something on his shirt.
Chris.
Woo! And you know what I forgot?
Hey.
I forgot to get a cider.
Oh yeah, go do that.
You want a cider?
Yeah. Why not? I think we got the. Is it the rosé side?
Yeah, it's the rosé. It's classy.
Nice.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like a fancy lady when I'm drinking that. Nice. So you're hoping for some tech issues? Not today. Here's the thing.
Not today, tech issues. Not today.
If we do some things correctly, tech issues might quickly become a thing of the past in a couple weeks if we successfully.
It sounds like a news item. Oh, whoops.
Tech issues become a thing of the past.
So thank you for joining us. Come grab a drink. Let's hang out for 2 hours. Talk terrain. Talk tabletop. Talk. I don't know. That's the thing is we want to hear from you. Like part of the fun of this show, we were just talking about it before this thing is getting some immediate feedback, getting some ideas, telling you what we're up to, and just sort of chit-chatting.
Yeah.
So we want to be interactive.
And
what are we doing today? What's our big...
Today we're going to we're gonna show off some of the coolest test shots we've gotten back so far.
Woo.
We've got a really good round of test shots this time. That'll be fun to go over. And then we've also got some news around KS8. But first,
is Rabbit Burner here? Because he's going to be excited. We have some ruins.
I don't think I've seen him yet, but
Rabbit.
He almost never misses one of these.
It's true.
He might have something going on today,
actually.
What's that?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We have so many of you guys that are so dedicated and show up every week too.
It's because there's nothing else to do around that time in England outside of sleep, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Which he doesn't seem too fond of.
But we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us, and there will be a giveaway at the midway point on the show. So stay tuned for that. If you're new or if you're old, if you didn't know it was happening. Anything else we're doing?
I don't know. Oh, someone said any word on Dwarven Forge t-shirts. As always, there's like a soon TM on that. It's something we've been trying to do for a while.
Soon TM. Yeah. Yeah. You know the problem is? Here's the problem with t-shirts. So we were all set to launch whatever there was that sort of that plugin that sort of worked with Twitch, right? And we had it all geared up. We had a few designs ready to go. Like we were ready to rock and roll. And Jay was like, wait a second. Why are we giving these, we giving these people 70% and keeping 30%? Well, we could just do this ourselves and keep all of it. And
because
you know
he told us the reason we weren't doing it was he wanted it to be low impact. So we went with the low impact option.
So a year later, we still have shirts because we're holding out for that 100% of the getting the $5 from the shirt instead of $3 from the shirt was the. So now there's no shirts. But anyway, we have some designs, some beautiful Felipe bits with the Cerberus and all whatever. Like
we've literally actually got them ready to go. We just need to narrow down what platform are we doing it on.
And we're doing it ourselves, Chris. That's the thing.
Great.
We're going to silk screen right here.
David says there's websites that can print them in bulk. Yeah, that's what we were going to do. And then Jay was like, well, I think we should actually do it ourselves. And the reason we went with those websites is because initially he was like, I don't want it to take up too much of our time.
Yeah.
So we did the work to set up those things, and that it's a whole thing.
It is a thing. And we made the sweatshirt that you're wearing and the beanie. We made team swag for our holiday gift, and it's so awesome. That beanie is like
the beanie's really good. I like the sweatshirt a lot.
It's awesome.
Look at the back.
It's hard to see because it's a whole dwarven. The other way. It's a whole Dwarven Forge thing. It has the names of the terrain. It's a dragon holding a warhammer, and Felipe did it. It's just awesome.
We would love for these to be publicly available. We're trying to get there.
No.
Not
we
these.
Can't make these.
Oh, these are just
this is team exclusive.
We'd love to have some similar things.
Yeah, like
available.
it wouldn't have. It wouldn't say Chris if some random person bought it. Probably.
Probably not. We sell. Collect the whole set. Collect the sweatshirt with everybody's name on it.
You don't know what you're gonna get. It's a blind box.
Rabbit just got here.
Hey, Rabbit, we got ruins, Rabbit.
Southern Shaman's watching OTA while he sets up the Dwarven Forge for his game night on Thursday. Awesome.
Who is?
Southern Shaman.
Woo! Wait, well, should we get into the news?
Let's get into the news. Let's go.
News! It's the news. News.
You just do a blind box, so you buy a sweatshirt and you don't know whose name's going to be on it.
Yeah.
It could even be like people, it'd be like those like vanity like tourist keychains that just have like a bunch of names on it. People who don't even work here.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I got an
Fifi.
Annika sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Great.
I love her work. She's really... So what's in the news, Chris?
What's in the news? Excellent. Close that document.
I feel like I have an extra co-pilot tonight. I hung this light too close to my head. It's like...
People like seeing lights and stuff in the background because it doesn't feel like they're really...
It's
like
real.
in behind
it's
the
raw.
scenes. It's real.
It's like, yeah.
You know,
well,
not everybody's brave enough to have a light in shot.
I'm seeing this light now. Like all I see is this light. It keeps. It's like really nosy.
You know, in Pirates of the Caribbean, in one of the shots on the ship, they've got a crew member in like a boater hat, just like standing in the back, just like looking out, like over things he didn't realize he was in the shot, and he made it into the final cut of the film. So you got like all these pirates, and then just a guy in like khakis.
Oh, I love that. There's other little bits like that, like when the stormtrooper hits his head and the.
It's Dwarven Forge shirts would be modular. You can change the name, make little nameplates that you slide in and out in a bracket.
Way to overcomplicate a simple piece of merch.
It's our thing, man.
Magnets and things, like, yeah, I see. Little pegs. We could have like a whole peg system to like have modular names that are like three-dimensional. Because, right, it's three-dimensional is where it's at, Chris. Like, we don't want to be flat like graph paper. We want to have, we want our clothing to have depth.
We want shirts that you couldn't simulate on graph paper.
Yeah, that's what we're it's our market. So, so what's in the news?
Well, a couple things. First off, our Kickstarter of the week is a minis project with a very fun name.
He's gonna crack up. Here we go.
All right, this is the Kingpin of Dunkeldorf. That's it, right?
Yep. They're from Denmark. They're their third Dunkeldorf project. Dunkeldorfing.
Dunkeldorf 3. Dunkeldorf 3.
Yeah.
Tokyo Drift.
Dunkeldorf Drift.
Dunkeldrift.
Yeah.
They've got a very fun. They kind of remind me of is it Durganforge? That has like very like expressive doors and stuff. They don't look the same, but it's like that same kind of like super expressive sculpting that I really like.
It's a Danish couple that's been doing. I don't know how long they've been doing. So they did a bunch of these. It's their third Dunkeldorf Kickstarter. I backed their last one. Nice sculpts. They deliver on time. Small team. Reasonable prices. Nice stuff. And it would be nice for cities. Like it's townsfolk and some pets and like some like pictures of flowers and stuff. Like little flower boxes and stuff. Like just nice little bits that will work really well for our upcoming Kickstarter Cities 2 to be determined.
When we get a better name.
Yeah.
Oh, we should.
So go check it out. They're good folks. They deliver and the quality's good. It's white metal. The accessories are in resin, but it's good stuff.
Yeah, we love supporting small creators.
They're definitely the definition of small creators.
And I saw somebody say, "Oh, the WebDM one came out this week too." The reason it's not the Kickstarter of the week this week is because we're actually
it's the Kickstarter of the month. Oh wait, no.
We're gonna have them on the show next week.
Woo!
Next on the Anvil, we're gonna be having is it Jim and Prue?
Yep.
Yeah, Jim and Prue are both gonna be on here, and we're gonna do an interview session because now that we're in the office again, we have more of our tech at our disposal, and we can get back to doing interviews like we did during Wildlands and stuff like that. We're very excited for that.
So that's code for Nate is incapable of barely running a stream at home, and much less with a bunch of guests and whatever. So, yeah. So now that Chris can run the stream, we can actually have high caliber guests.
High caliber.
Not on my laptop.
I'm gonna tell Jim.
In, like,
I'm gonna tell Jim you called him high caliber, so he can put it in his Twitter bio.
Yeah, he'll love it. So yeah, we can have a real setup where you actually have like the audio coming from their feed, not literally going out to speakers like right by the microphone. The way Anyway, you know what? It makes the audio more analog when I do it at home. It's like we like to keep things analog here, so it's.
You literally just have people blasting out of speakers being picked up on your mic.
Yes.
Yeah. And then
it works.
In a similar fashion, currently tentatively, we haven't completely finalized it.
Can we TM that?
Tentatively?
Currently tentatively.
Currently tentatively.
Because kind of all Dwarven Forge projects are currently tentatively.
We're also going to be having the Dungeon Dudes on here. Current plan is
Kelly
for the 30th.
And Monty.
Current plan is for the episode on the 30th to have Kelly and Monty here because they've got their Kickstarter coming out as well, and they are also, just like people at WebDM, are also longtime friends.
Yep.
And we want to talk about various stuff. So if you have any questions about either the Dungeon Dudes or WebDM, go ahead and think about them and pencil in those dates.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday night for WebDM, and then the 30th for the Dungeon Dudes.
We'll have to prep our hard-hitting questions.
Yeah.
Like I did with Joe Manganiello. We hit him with the rough ones.
We asked him to do Christopher Walken impressions.
Christopher Squawken.
For
the sea
call me Christopher Squawken. I can't do it. He's very good at that.
He might have a future in acting.
It's
Joe
not.
guy. I mean,
it's not fair for somebody
D&D
to be.
doesn't take off for him. He could.
It's not fair for somebody to be that attractive and still be able to like do impressions and comedy and stuff. Honestly.
Tell you what, I've touched his stomach. It's like rock hard. That's what we had at D&D Live. Like he came up. I don't remember what he did. He was like, "Nerd!" And he like kind of like slapped my back, and I went around like, "Hey, Joe!" And I like, and it was like I hit a concrete wall. I was like, "Oh God!" just thinking it was like and he was just like casual Joe. He wasn't even like I don't know, benching reps or whatever you do, getting his gains and getting thing. It was just like You okay over there?
Yeah.
Okay?
I still will never get over so many people who hadn't talked to me in a long time suddenly wanted to rekindle their friendship with me that night that we interviewed Joe Manganiello.
Yeah.
Particularly women. Like
you became more attractive by association.
Yeah, or at least my position did.
Yeah.
It's
good. So anyway, so we
yeah.
Tune in. We should have some fun interviews. We'll do some Q&As. We'll let you guys ask them some questions too. So queue them up and let us know if there's important topics we should cover with them.
He's got modular abs.
No, there's one piece. They're like
piece.
They're just one. It's like one 12-pack.
The unfortunate thing is they're not Dwarvenite. They're ABS.
Yeah. See what he did there? It's brilliant.
All right. Okay. So yeah, those are happening.
Is anybody new watching? Do they know what they're getting into?
I think I'm seeing a couple names that.
This is it. It's 2 hours of this, guys. It's just I don't know why anybody bothers, but here we are.
I'm seeing a couple. A couple newer people. Let's see.
Actually, we also play with toys, so that'll happen too.
Yeah.
With stupid jokes. That was brilliant.
What else we got going on? Last weekend, we played in a couple games. Nate played with Nerd Botchery, where he got to.
Did you play with Badgers last week too?
I played Badgers last weekend too. I played with them 2 weekends in a row because they had a cancellation, so they asked me to fill in, which was fun. I hadn't gotten to play a Rogue before or a Dragonborn, so it was fun to kind of lean into them.
Or Pathfinder? Oh no,
it wasn't Pathfinder that time.
Okay.
I did play Pathfinder 2 for the first time with them a couple weeks back. I'd played Pathfinder 1 before, but it'd been a while. Yeah, how was being the villain?
It was really interesting. We had the Gentleman Wake was one of the players. Knighthood was one of the players. I don't know if there's any of the other viewers that were playing in the Nerd Botchery game. It's too hard to keep track of.
Eric
Wahlberg.
Names. Eric Wahlberg was playing in it as well.
Who was he playing? I don't know anyways.
But he's pretty regular in the streams.
Yeah. So there were a bunch of our regular viewers are playing, and I got to play the big villain. But it's the dynamic playing the big bad guy who wants to just absolutely mercilessly kill all the players is a weird dynamic, right? Because fundamentally, you don't want, as a DM, that's not what, you don't want to just annihilate your players.
Because then the game's over.
You want the whole fun is celebrating together, celebrating their successes and their failures and doing this thing, and just coming in as your whole job is to just try and kill players. It's a weird thing. The whole dynamic, the whole thing is kind of a weird bit, particularly when it's just like literally it opens with they kick the door down and they're like, all right, let's go, let's brawl. So it was a very wild one round of combat.
It was all one round.
There was sort of a pseudo surprise round, and there was one round of combat.
Huh.
And it ended with a wand of magic missiles that had 12 charges that were overcranked. It was a thing. I made one strong tactical error using a counter spell instead of a shield spell would have changed, but it was probably for the best because the players would have died.
Would it have against magic missile? It wouldn't have really done anything, right?
No, that's the whole point of shield. So the rogue, the one player hit me, and there was the rogue. And he used a booming blade, and I was really worried. I didn't have a lot of hit points because I was a wizard, but I had heavy hitting spells. So I was really worried. So I counterspelled it without even really thinking too much about it. I counterspelled it instead of if I just done shields because he hit me by dead on it. I only had an AC of 16.
Oh yeah, so shield would have just blocked the whole
shield
thing.
Would have killed the spell and blocked the thing, and would have protected me against the 1,000 points of damage from magic missiles.
Because you get to call shield after you.
Yeah, it's reaction. Yeah,
and you get to call it after you know if it hits or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it would have shielded that, and then if anybody else had managed to get it, and whatever. But anyway, it was better that it didn't work out that way because it got to be it was a more fun.
Shield neutralizes magic missile.
Yes, it gives you +5 AC and blocks. It makes you immune to attacks from magic missile. It's from original AD&D. Huh. It was the counter, the rock paper scissors to magic missile. So it would have given me the resistance. Anyway. But I'm glad it didn't because it was more fun this way, and the artificer got to do his thing, and it was like. It worked out really
at the end of the
nice.
day.
It was tense. There's definitely like a tense hour where it was just like people. It could have really gone awry quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I was going to do that was really nasty after hitting them with a vitriolic sphere and a fireball. My next round of combat was going to be because I had two players on me. Depending on what state these guys were in, I was just going to drop a overcranked sleep spell on the rest of them because they're all down to like single digit hit points or 10 points. So if I did a sleep at third level, it was 5d8 plus 2 per level. So I could have done a 9d8 of sleep, which is not concentration, and it's an action to wake them up. So it would have knocked out anybody else that was left in the back row, and then with it, and then I would have had like 2 guys left to deal with and 4 NPCs. But anyway, it was a really fun. Like I thought I think it did the job it was supposed to do. It was very tense. And it was like, the stakes were there. They were like, Jesus, this guy actually wants to kill us. But so anyway, that was fun. It was a long news item. I don't know how that.
It also wasn't really new so much as just like a check it, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
Last thing. So we're ironing out our GenCon plans. We are going to GenCon. We've decided
that.
That.
Ironing.
I know.
Yeah. I think that's how you iron, right? Like with a shiv.
Like really jerkily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd never actually ironed anything. You know what? I ironed wax on a snowboard.
Wait, what? You ironed wax on a
Yeah, you put on you wax your snowboard.
Okay.
But I've never actually ironed like a shirt. But anyway, sorry. We're ironing out plans for GenCon. What are our plans for GenCon, Chris?
First off, Kodiak Bear says hi.
Who says hi?
Kodiak Bear.
Hey! How's the recovery, sir? And you don't have to answer. Just we're really glad that you're here, that you're with us, and hopefully you're getting some enjoyment out of 2 hours of nonsense.
General Wick said he had 3 HP left at the end of the fight.
He was the only one that he said forget it. He just ran right up for the stab in the face.
Was he the rogue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, I had Toll the Dead too. Was my other.
You had Toll the Dead.
I could have Misty stepped out and just started Toll the Deading for 2d12 at this level too. It was just like because they were all wounded. Hurt. Everybody got hit with anyway. It's like,
Toll the Dead is a nasty cantrip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Were you a cleric? What were you that had?
War Mage. I was Fey touched.
Okay.
As my feet, I took a feat of Fey touched to take sleep and Misty Step. The whole character was built just to kill players.
Yeah, I could see that actually.
Yeah.
Because Toll the Dead is nice against enemies. It's brutal against PCs.
It's cantrip because I could Misty Step and then Toll the Dead.
Yeah.
Because I had 2 players on me, and then I would just step out and then hit one of them for 2d12, and then that's
And then
another
you also
down.
would still have your action to make a melee attack if you wanted to.
No, the Troll of the Dead would have been the action.
Oh, right.
Right, yeah.
I don't know why I thought a cantrip was outside of the action.
I didn't have any actual weapons, but...
That's fair. Well, who needs one?
What was the other? Mind Whip was the other
Mind Whip?
nasty one, because it takes their action, right? It's 3d6 whatever, but you're down to either 1 action, 1 move, and 1 bonus action. Because the action economy, it was 7 players, so I was like, how do I just mess with their action economy?
That's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, what are we talking about? GenCon. What are we doing at GenCon?
So we're still figuring out, because GenCon's going to be different this year than it's usually been. So we're still trying to figure out what exactly is the layout of this thing going to be.
We don't know.
What kind of resources are there going to be?
We don't know.
It's going to be at a limited capacity.
We do know that.
Yeah, we know it's going to be a limited capacity. So we're not entirely sure what we're going to be doing. We know that a couple of us are going to be there. But if there's anything in particular you guys want to see at GenCon,
yeah,
if it's reasonable, we'll go for it.
Aside from here are the rules. There's only 7 or 8 of us going from the office here, from the studio headquarters, plus Stefan and Ann, plus Thad and other Thad from Vorpal.
Thad and other Thad?
I don't know what the other guy is, Mr. Board. Mr. Vorpal.
Thad and Thad.
Billy Vorpal. He's like, but so aside from we have relatively limited, for some reasons, there's relatively limited people who are going. We're not selling anything in the booth, so that's the big one. We're not going to sell anything.
Yeah.
No sales, because point of sale is a whole thing for us, and then hauling gear, hauling merch, and then having it and having the van and having to load in merch every morning. It's like just a rigmarole. But is there anything you want us to do besides the Dwarven Knight from Pound, which we're not going to do? Is there anything you want us to do while we're there? We also were planning on not running a game. Traditionally, we've run like one fun big exhibition game every GenCon. We're basically planning on doing just putting up a booth, which is already, I guess, what most people do.
Trying to figure out what the best use of that space would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not planning on doing games in the booth, which is something we've done in the past.
Well, even the thing is, like, our booth game's going to be allowed the way that they were in the past.
Well, that's the other thing. We don't want, like, with COVID, who knows what state it's going to be. We don't want to bring more random people into the booth.
Yeah, we're not entirely out of the woods yet. So
because you have to scream to be heard on the floor. It's really loud in there, so you're screaming and spraying. Like, it's just not a safe. I don't know. So aside from booth games and selling stuff, what should we do? Is there anything you want to see there?
Knife throwing with Nate.
I would so be into that.
Just have the entire wildlands.
I just get tied up to the target and people like throw knives at me.
Are you bringing any terrain to display? I imagine we'll display some terrain. That's our thing, right? Like, we got to figure something.
Maybe we'll bring a piece. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, we just bring a stairway to violence.
It's just all black tables with one thing.
What builds are you gonna put on?
You know what I am doing though? I'm gonna be on a panel. Satine is doing a panel about Kickstarters, about how to run a Kickstarter.
You might know something about that.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun to have a smaller build that could double for both like D&D and a war game potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Just try to have like that kind of thing. Can we hire Joe Manganiello to come? Oh, this is Andrew. Can we hire Joe Manganiello to come to the booth so people can touch his stomach?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, we tried it. All right.
We sell golden tickets to touch Joe's stomach.
We start pelting Dwarven Knight at his stomach and see what breaks first.
Oh, wait, no, we build like a trebuchet or something, like to launch it at, and we like crank up the weight so it just keeps hitting harder and harder until like eventually he'll have to yield or the trebuchet breaks.
We don't want to do anything complicated though.
No.
Yeah.
My brother's a physicist. He can...
Get Nina to show you how to sculpt Griblies.
Ooh.
If it was actually feasible, being able to do like a little sculpting like workshop thing would be so fun.
It would be really neat.
Like I have no idea if there's any way to make that feasible, but
well, currently we don't have the sculptors coming out. But
fair. They're gonna have stuff to do, but just have a small gauntlet dungeon you show people as they try and move a mini through. You can show all the various trap pieces and things rather than a booth game. It's just an example thing.
That is a really fun idea. Who is that? Give that person a giveaway.
I'll give you one guess.
Finley Shards.
Yes.
Yeah, Finley, when are you coming to America?
Just move here already.
But no, this is like a little demo area of like move your mini through, and it can show you stuff. Ah, jeez, it's like seriously, Come move to Merca, and we can.
We can literally do a choose your own adventure thing and have it branch in a couple different ways. So they're not moving it directly.
It doesn't need to be like you just have a simple little dungeon and show them things that could happen, and they're there. Go in there, oh, look at this, it's a thing, but it's brilliant. Brilliant.
Joe is the table.
It's like when they serve sushi on like a naked body. We just have like Joe.
How large of a build can he hold?
Just one stairway to violence covering this junk, and
have him do push-ups with like a Wyvern Watch castle on
his
back.
And we just keep putting castle pieces on him until
or we like use it to like show off like the terrain trays and magnets. It's like, look at how sturdy it is, and look at how sturdy he is. Like look.
It's really good.
Build offs at the booth. That would involve bringing a lot of pieces, though, I think, if we're going to have any variety to what you can build. And the thing is, we're trying to like cut down on the amount of stuff that we have to take.
Well, let's be honest. We're going to have at least 20 feet worth of terrain.
Yeah, we're going to end up going over. We're going to end up going over what we're saying right now.
We have a storage unit in Indiana.
Oh.
With mysterious items in it.
I guess that makes sense. By mysterious, do you mean that they just can't know, or do you mean like you forgot?
It's been 2 years. I don't know what's in there.
Should run the Twitch anniversary game in the booth on a loop. That could be fun.
People can't hear it very well. It's hard. Like audio is a thing in there. Visual would be fun.
The secret dwarven vaults. Bodies. That is where the bodies are held.
In the storage locker. So we melt them down.
The fake blood that scarred Chris Perkins. Just kept in a.
I still have each of the rooms had a name that I flip over on the one thing, and I have the Cave of Ruin one that still has the fake blood sprayed on it.
Wildlands pieces that haven't shipped yet. Depending on how much we have, maybe doing something with the Wildlands prototype.
The fact that Chris Perkins a year later remembered that I sprayed blood in his eye and his mouth and holds a grudge about it is kind of amazing. Like,
you know how to make an impression.
You know, if you have a chance to interact with one of the top people at D&D, make sure you have them have a vendetta against you for life. It's we like to operate around here. Maybe that's why Wizards just never let us do anything.
Post a map to the storage area and have a scavenger hunt. Why don't we just do a random giveaway of whatever's in the storage unit right now?
Wait a second. A scavenger hunt? Like hide something somewhere in the convention center?
We would have to get clearance because we could potentially create an issue.
No clearance.
If we get a gaggle of people running around,
it'll be a low key thing. So Nine Inch Nails did this thing, this augmented reality game where it was insane, right? So there was the CD when you played it heats up in the CD player, and the ink, it was an all black CD, but when it heated up in the CD player, the black would disappear, and there was binary underneath. There was a whole message in binary. And then if you took that and went to a website, and the tour shirt had the names of like all the locations. Some of them were slightly yellow, some of the letters, and it would spell a thing. There was this whole elaborate series of clues, including a billboard in England and whatever, all this stuff. But here's the moral of the story. All that's irrelevant. It leads you to, at one of their shows, in the bathroom, duct taped behind the toilet in the third stall, whatever, there was a flash drive that had a new single on it, and some guy just deciphered all this stuff, went there, found it, pulled the thing off, and had the new single, and then it said release this into the wild, and released the new single onto the wild, and then got sued by the record label or wherever, how'd you steal our pirate thing? And then they had to tell him no, he discovered it. It was so secret, no, we couldn't even tell you, and thing, whatever. But anyway, we could do something like that where we hide something somewhere at GenCon, and then it's really easy. We don't have to do anything.
You were on me about we can't do anything complicated. And they're like, what if we do an ARG?
No. It could just be you have to find clues at the. Yeah, okay, you're right. All right.
Here's the thing. No. I would love to do this.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's not less complicated than what I was talking about earlier.
No, it's not. Well, except that you can pre-plan it. That's the difference is we don't have to do anything there other than and then hide a prototype behind a toilet.
Do a scavenger hunt where you have things around the convention on other people's stalls. Oh, we could have partners, and we give them like code words that you have to say to those.
If you go
stalls.
to Wormwood, they have to say Dunkeldorf, and like if you go to.
We need to figure out how many of our friends are going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fun one, and then it encourages people to go to other booths, and yeah.
They need to find the info around the con to answer them all, then add an email address, and at the end of the con, you can do a draw on stream and send starter dungeons or something to people.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, we could do. So yeah, we could have a
booth scavenger hunt sort of thing.
But maybe even if you don't win the giveaway, you get something out of it, some small thing that just for doing it and participating.
Yeah.
Making t-shirts will take too much time. Massive immersive AR experience. You gotta have Google Glass in order to find it.
To find it, there's a whole. We build a virtual dungeon that overlay over Gen Con. You have to use the Google Glass to navigate the virtual dungeon to find just the right spot. It'd be like, and it's all built with Dwarven Forge, but like real life scale, and it's like
As long as one code word is Hamjammer. We hide shimmer fronds around the show floor.
I'm so for that.
It'd be like hidden Mickeys. We have to find like all 5 of the shimmer fronds that we've hidden around the place. If you can take pictures of all 5 of them, that could be interesting.
Totally interesting.
That wouldn't be too hard to do either. Wouldn't really get in people's way as much, I don't think.
I'd Gorilla Glue it to the wall or something, so it's like not going anywhere. Like, we don't want people to wander off with it. Like,
that'll stop us from getting in trouble. Gorilla Glue something to the wall.
Well, you do it somewhere unobtrusive, you see. Anyway, what else? Let's move on to the next piece.
I think we got a good amount of ideas there. That's
not
what
complicated.
That's all I've got written down for news.
Was that? I feel like was there some other thing? Maybe not. All right,
it's kind of a slow. We've got a lot of stuff we can't really talk about currently.
Yeah. All right.
I think it's the main thing. If we think of something, we'll say it. But yeah.
Because we'll call it a show. Oh wait, no. We have to look at Wilder.
All right, thanks for coming, guys. Yeah, because we talked about the restock. We talked about build of the month. Talked about like in last week, because like last week they were the thing.
Oh yeah, Build of the Month hasn't sold out, I don't think. So Build of the Month is still live.
Build of the Month is out there.
Go check it out.
Yeah, the link to it is on the front page of the site. It's a good little cavern starter with a little bit of Hellscape thrown in, and you get a gift card. So if you've been trying to get into caverns or you want to test out a little bit of Hellscape, it's a way to get in with a little bit of reward.
And there's a deluxe version that's got a bunch of Hellscape, and it's a musical, and it's our last one for a few months.
Soundtrack.
What? Yeah.
Free downloads of the entire soundtrack. We can't sell it because we'd probably get sued.
We would get sued.
Yeah.
Because all the songs are riff-offs.
All right.
I mean, reinterpretations. What do you call it? Tributes.
I think
parody. That's what.
Parody or pastiche.
How does Weird Al do it?
How does Weird Al do it?
Yeah.
Like parody.
It
counts as fair use because he's not making anything that actually threatens the market of the original song.
If anything, it adds to the popularity of the original song.
It is transformative. That's the thing. So.
Well, this was highly transformative.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a transformative experience.
Yeah, for all.
Anyone asked for beans yet? Yeah, so about 20 people have said beans in chat. Let's get into the Wildlands test shots. We've got a lot of cool ones to show off today. Rabbit, if you're not paying attention, now's the time.
To stop paying attention?
To start?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Let's go!
Woo!
Look at this.
All right, we'll get these guys out of the way. We'll get to them in a sec. We got to do ruins
it's okay,
first.
It's Dwarvenite.
Yeah, it's true. All right, so... Oh, wait a second. Where is... I didn't find the nest. I got to go find that, but we'll do this first. All right, so we got the last of our ruins, second to last, the penultimate ruins batch. We still don't have the Oracle pool in the spits, but we have these two, and then I think we can show everything here. Yeah. All right, so we got this. Hang on, let me get. I think we should lower. Hold on. Please stand by.
Just going to cut away to this while you adjust it, in case anybody's got...
If anybody gets motion sickness, they should not watch this channel ever. Especially not when I'm at home.
That's fair. Oh, yeah. The amount of times you've been like, what if I just pick up the entire tripod and wonk the camera around?
It's an effect. People pay money for that. All right.
Weird Al gets permission. Yeah, but the permission isn't to protect him legally. It's to stop there from being bad blood.
We did not get permission.
We did not.
We
didn't talk to Andrew Lloyd Webber.
I am a much more beg for forgiveness.
Just called up Sondheim real quick and.
All right, so we have this glorious ruins piece. These ruins are like the best of Michelle. It's like crazy tiny details, and she does all these clever things like making super miniature stamps so she can lay down the pattern and then lightly tweak it, and casting chunks of it and then assembling chunks of it, repeated chunks of the same thing, and like just very very clever techniques she uses. So this is the crumbled ruins arch, but what's neat is that this part breaks away, so they fit together super nice. I don't know if you can see there, but then also you break it away, so you can use that to be a crumble on any other piece. And likewise, this can just terminate any run. But look at these. Oh, I can't wait to see some paint samples of these.
Well, we got to see so many cool custom paint jobs from the people we sent out. We saw like a sandstone version that looked incredible. Like, there's, I love the default paint scheme that we have for them, but there's so many cool things you can do with these details.
Endless options.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the straight crumble bit. I mean, it has a real name. I can't remember what it is. It was hard. It's hard to name. Ruins pieces are really hard to name because, like, I don't know, it's ruined this or slightly ruined that or whatever. So this is the buttress. I think we call it a buttress, which is kind of weird. It's an end cap, right? So it can run. It can terminate a run. You can use two of them to like make a thing, or put two of them back to back.
Any chance of the pledge manager opening up for a 2-hour window? Unfortunately not.
You're like 6 months late.
Yeah, we have to have the numbers into the factory pretty early on. Yeah. Or they get very mad.
So what's neat here is this. You can just use them decoratively to put like you can put your pole accessories in there, however you want to decorate this bit. They of course make nice end. Oops, I can't even see the whole thing. End bits, whatever. This is a particularly good one. You take two of these, do this. Oops. There you go. But then, best of all, it's got LED socket, so you can. So you can put in your LED pieces. So this is. Ooh, you want to hit the blackout?
Yeah.
Oh, I still have the bar. So let's see what happens with it'll just be the rainbow. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can still see some.
Right, so this is the Archaen glow globe. It's not painted, so it loses some of its effect, but pretty cool. The gentle pulsing elven light, the Eladrin glow. You can bask in it, or you could put in your. This is the 3 skulls on fire.
Love the Celtic-looking design. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's a very beautiful aesthetic.
Michelle loves her knot work. She's really.
Well, this really got to lean into her strengths.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all sorts of really cool, intricate details.
Kind of wish these had trifecta floors. Was there any talk or thought to make rune shrine floors to match these pieces?
Yes, and we actually sculpted a bunch of them, but ended up putting them on hold. So one day they will appear.
Yeah.
All right, we can put the lights back on, please, Maestro. Yeah, there's a pretty neat little floor system that we put together for these ruined and solid and whatnot. All right, so those were the new. It was just those 3 new ruins pieces. But now collectively I believe we have the whole ruins family. Let me go to the widest.
The only thing we need is like the specialty pieces, right?
Just missing the Oracle pool, I believe. Oh, I didn't bring the dais out, but we have.
Did we get the Codex ball?
No, it's the pool and the inserts. We don't have. I was counting those as sort of a family together. Is that everything?
Of the ruins? I think so. We just have more there because they send us 2 of everything.
1, 2, 3, 4, and this.
Wish the rune stairs would have worked out, says Chuck.
Yeah, we had some really neat, but they'll it'll all get there at some point.
Give us enough time and we will make everything. It's just we can only make so much at once.
We're focusing on sand right now. Heavily focused on sand. We'll make everything except for more water tiles. Although I was actually, I was thinking about water tiles the other day.
The allure of sculpted rivers is very nice, yeah.
I don't count that as water tiles.
Do you mean?
The sculpted rivers are their own.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the ruins family is here. Can't wait to see it painted. Oh, I didn't show we've got anchor magnets on the anchor magnet ports on the bottom.
Yeah, so you could just build these directly on top of a terrain tray to create some line of sight blocking stuff if you'd like.
Yep. Or on a battle mat, or you put them on sculpted floors or whatever. Whatnots. All right. Any questions about the ruins before we go to the driftstones?
Rabbit says he's still gutted that we cut most of the runes, which I get it. It's what he's been asking for ages.
But here, wait, Rabbit, think of it this way. Aren't you glad that we included ruins in Wildlands, right? It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces plus the pole accessory plus, the dais is another 2 plus the oracle pool plus the insert. So it's like 12 pieces that are in Wildlands that we included. Instead of cutting, we included 12 cool ruins pieces. Plus the Arcane glow glyph. So let's call it 14 pieces.
How does the resin goddess look next to the ruins? She was sculpted to have the same kind of aesthetic, right?
Yes. I don't know. We don't have.
We've got the
we don't have samples yet
here, don't we?
Yeah. Let's wait till we have the final sample.
Yeah, because we also don't have painted.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and there was a whole special edition Michelle Resin sculpted ruins too, which was another ruins publishing thing. So there's almost 20 ruins pieces, Mr. Rabbit. So it'd be grateful that we had 20 in the Wildlands and be hungry for more.
Pre-orders for once Wildlands makes it into the catalog. When we initially fulfill, right after the Kickstarter backers get their Wildlands, there's going to be, all the leftovers are going to be put into the store. So there'll be a chance to get stuff there.
That might be a bit of a frenzy.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of people waiting to kind of grab that stuff because it's the first chance to get it outside of the Kickstarter. But we will be restocking as much of this as we can. I can't imagine us not restocking the ruins because they were they seem very popular.
Oh, I need to go get. Hang on, while you feel the questions, let me get the nest.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'll handle questions for a bit.
Where Mr. Nest?
I forget. Will the resin be in store? We're planning on having the resin in store.
Yes.
For at least the initial
until we run out.
Stocking. He's got his love on, so he might keep talking.
Oh wait, my
mic's
mic's
possible to acquire the driftstone separately during the Kickstarter. Got an urge to do a Space Whale DF rebuild. Driftstones separately during the Kickstarter. Yeah, we'll have a Driftstones pack, I'm pretty sure. There's no reason not to. It makes sense to have Driftstones as their it makes sense to have them as their own thing, right? Update on the resin factory closing effect. It's looking rough. When we were looking into reprinting the resin catacombs, it raised the price by a lot to move it to a new factory. So we're trying to figure out what the likelihood that we can, remake any of those resin sets again is, because it's rough. Moving to a new factory is hard. Let's see. Any sci-fi news? Thoughts on Tech Nooks, aka tech pieces with the same footprint as ossuary nooks? No
Tech
sci-fi
Nooks.
news yet.
I love that. Oh, I realized I forgot to tell. We forgot to tell people what test shots are. So what you're looking at here, are the first. These are our castings. So during our Kickstarter we do polystone resin castings or prototypes, and then once we have the Kickstarter, we actually make steel molds, because the steel molds are super expensive. But you can do, if you just do silicone molds, you can do super cheap silicone molds to do polystone resin. But to do actual dwarvenite, we need to make big, expensive steel molds. So we don't do that until after the Kickstarter. So this is the first time we get to actually hold a final piece in Dwarvenite. This is unpainted, just raw, right? I think this is how you get it if you buy it unpainted. So this is like, these are super exciting for us because it's like, wow, after all this time, it's like 9 months later, you finally get to hold a real final thing. Make sure everything's good before it goes into production, and we ship it out to everybody. Wait, I forgot another thing. I needed something with a magnet.
Do we own the molds or does the factory?
We own the molds.
Yeah. We own them. The problem is if we want to take them, we gotta.
We have
these
like
massive heavy things across.
No,
the
we have
world.
something like, I don't know, 100 tons of molds or something absurd. They're about 300 pounds each, and we've got.
They're large and they're heavy, and there's a lot of them. So the odds of like getting them out of that factory, it'd be very expensive and very difficult. Just have to give in and make Dwarvenite versions, maybe. The thing is, you can't really just take the resin sculpts and move them over to Dwarvenite for a couple reasons. One is there's a slight scale difference. The second is that resin and Dwarvenite are pretty different materials.
Flower.
And some of the stuff that reads really well when we put it in resin isn't going to read as well in Dwarvenite. We need to sculpt it to work with that material. What is he doing?
Oh, my kingdom for a poison bloom.
Huh. That piece looks very painful to step on. Yeah. Thankfully, it's not like made out of as hard a material as Lego. Picked up Den of Evil. Den of Evil's very good. Make the polystone pieces since they're cheaper to make and call it Elfstone. Brittle but cheap. Durability is kind of our thing, though. One of our things. We have a lot of things, to be fair. Resin feels better, but Dwarvenite lasts so much
Rock
longer.
hard abs is our thing.
We have a lot of things. Durability, LEDs, magnets, modularity. Like,
cool sound effects we make with our mouths.
if you can't restock the old resin sets, any thoughts on releasing them as STL files?
Well, they don't exist in 3D.
Yeah, we'd have to do
They're
a
all
whole
analog.
scanning thing, and yeah, it'd be a lot of work to get them ready for that.
99.9% of the stuff we sculpt is all done analog,
Yeah.
for good or for ill. For ill in the sort of current state of things. All right, so we have we? I don't know if we've seen this piece yet or not. Before, I can't remember, but it was in my pile of things that I thought were new.
That's a cool piece. It's deceptively useful.
It's a kind of weird looking piece of geometry, but it's pretty awesome because it breaks up line of sight and whatever, and it's got a couple of fun things that it does. So one, it you can fit your teardrop pieces in there, right? So you can get your poison blooms on there. Two, it fits this nice, neat little. We have this nest. All right, with the eggs are removable. Let's go in super tight on this guy. Let's what the heck. Look at that. Isn't neat? Little Eli sculpt. So monster nest. Oh, what's neat too about the monster nest? Of course, I don't have one. The top is, it's basically just designed so that a 50 millimeter base, like a large size creature, can sit flat on it. So if you want to have your mother dragon or mother rock or mother wyvern, or I mean, it could be the daddy too, whatever, your manticore, whatever the heck is on top of it, you can sit on that and guard the eggs. And then the eggs are removable. With those little guys, so you can do with or without eggs. You can put the eggs somewhere else.
Love the nest as much as the wyvern. It's a really good objective.
It tells a story, right? You find a nest and it's like, whoa, there could something. Where's the thing that lives here and when's it coming back?
I can't wait for the Monster Hunter minis.
Why?
Because I can use the nest, because they don't really have terrain or anything from.
No, they don't. Just giant swords and like little funny chibi guys that follow them around.
Yeah, I love the hunter sculpts.
It makes no sense to me.
You would adore. I need to show you the aesthetic in more detail. You would adore it. The way that they build forts and palisades is fascinating.
Well, the monsters were cool looking. I think I just don't understand. I don't know.
It's a game all about the monsters. I would love to go in.
So the nest fits really neat in among these spires. It also has, I don't know if you can see here, we got a pair of paired peg holes, so you can use like two of these. Where the heck is the other one? These, or anything else that has paired peg holes. Oh yeah, we gotta go back wide to put your bridge. Go wider. Go all the way.
Wider.
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 There you go. Whoa, too wide. Okay. Right, so you can use that to hold your bridge or whatever suspended over something, or suspended between some drift stones or whatnot. So it's real good holder for the bridge. or anything else that's got paired pegs on it. And it's also got a vertical rod hole, right? So it's got, no, now we go back in.
Tighter.
So it's got a spot for one of our acrylic rods, so you can put Driftstone on there. Let's see if we can. Ooh, that's some good ASMR. So you can use it as a base to start doing some elevated nonsense. So this was, we saw these guys before, but we can look at them again. What's neat is they've got metal under there. Anchor magnet's not so strong. A little bit, better than nothing. It helps. So there's metal in there, so your anchor magnets will stick to it to help some of the stuff stack on it better. And this one was designed to be able to take take one of our teardrop pieces, have it fit on there. This is the middle guys. But the new guys that we hadn't seen are the little, look at that little guy. Let's get in super tight, super tight. Can't wait to see the painted versions of these. It'll be awesome. And this one, oh, of course they also, like all of them, right, it works as, you can use it as scatter, or like put it on your, like this,
The repeating geometry in Wildlands is really excellent, because like it doesn't look like it when you see it. Like it looks organic enough that it doesn't look like it's the same couple shapes. But they fit together really nicely.
Yes. No accident. Whoa. So you can, suspend out. We've got a bunch of different length rods. So you can do.
Do you want to do like a massive Driftstone connection build?
I do, except I only have 2 of each.
Well, so still.
Yeah, so
it's gonna
six cool Driftstones.
It's still going to span a ways. It can show you like what these things are good for,
Yeah. No, I want to do like a mega Driftstone madness once we have a bunch.
These would fit well with Hellscape 2. Yeah, I think this is going to be. I think the Driftstone's going to be really, really good for custom paint schemes.
Yes, 100%. Well, it's got really neat texture to it, so like, there's gonna be people are gonna do some crazy builds with it. So this guy also has metal. To help, like, so you can put like this is the mountain jumpy stone, has the footprint to fit right on top of it. Like we designed those to play really nicely together. I put the Arcane mana stave there, so it's a neat, if you wanted to put a floating MacGuffin or whatever, right? This is like a good way to have a floaty.
Then you destroy it, and all the Driftstones fall out of the sky with your PCs on it.
Ooh, they fall out of the sky and they come down like weaponized. That was an idea. I think it was Eli. At one point, he's like, we could have weaponized Driftstones.
You skewer people. You like lure the dragon underneath it.
Yeah, and then, you put other things on it and you use them to fly around and attack people. Like, yeah. All right, so then we have the one back here. No, it's medium. There it is, large. No, there it is. This is the large. Oh, and I forgot to show the side. Let's look at all that texture. Whoa. And this thing it's sized so that this, what is this thing called? The throne, the spire. I can't remember what the name of this thing was. It was like Wyverstone. It wasn't the spire. The spire was this thing, platform, I think it was called. So this one's designed to fit together, and it's the ideal place to put your wyvern nest. Or whatever nest, It's like this is the perfect floating platform for your nest up there. Just like a tantalizing target for your players.
Wyverthrone?
The Wyverthrone. And it can take, this guy fits on the small, what is this, the medium.
And you still got room for a mini?
Just barely, just enough. You can
Do the Driftstones have sharp talons?
These are pretty sharp, yeah.
Yeah, it does hurt to spike yourself with those.
Yeah, they're remarkably sharp actually. And then we've got, these have 3 connection points for horizontal. We're putting a square peg in a round hole because long story. So you can then connect these with
Do the Driftstones not have a dead side? Not
correct.
Really.
No dead side. the only dead side is the player that goes on them, because they're deadly. Yeah, so there are no dead side. They're sculpted all the way around, and then you can chain together. Let's see. Oh, the other guy that works really nice. He's technically not a driftstone, but the suspended perch. He has one little piece of Wyverstone on the bottom.
Yeah, you can throw that in there and it'll still sell the effect.
Oh yeah, and it's right, like that extra little floaty sidecar. Yeah, I'm so excited. That was the very last build I did in Wildlands. The one that set off the fire alarm was like I used all the driftstones that we had and did that Wyvern peak thing.
I'm so excited for driftstones. They're going to be used so much by me. So there's some people who said that they weren't interested in these at all because like it doesn't fit with their aesthetic, but a lot of people who are like, this is one of my favorite things.
What's your
campaign.
aesthetic? Like things that are boring? Like, come on, what are you like?
They're saying it's too like high fantasy or whatever. Everybody's got different tastes and different things.
Flip them around, and they're cool. They're just cool spiky things to put on your whatever.
How did the fire alarm get set off by a build? So we use a lot of fog. We use a lot of smoke when we shoot.
I wanted it to be smoky, more smoke. It was just it's too much smoke.
People are wondering if we've got plug samples.
Not yet. We're still fiddling, but coming really soon. Let's see if this is going to be too heavy. This is going to be too heavy to hold, I think.
I just use this to display minis between games.
Yeah. No, it's not at all crazy. But like a... Is that going to stay up? Let's see. It's a little top heavy on this heavy one, but... Yeah.
Driftstones are amazing. I don't know how you can't want them. For some people, the Wyverstone was a turnoff. It just is what it is. People are looking for different things.
Yep. That's the that's the thing when you push the envelope a little bit. Not everybody's there for this sort of thing.
These will be heavily restocked now. I'm pretty sure the driftstones are going to be in demand enough that we're going to try to keep them in stock. At least some basic pack. I can't imagine us abandoning them because they seem like they would be. They're good scatter pieces. We can use them for wargaming. We can use them for a lot of stuff. When they aren't drifting, they'll be scatter. Yeah, that's the main thing. Is they're
or
so
both.
modular.
You can use them on top of the. Oh yeah, here's the other thing. So you can take. We have this guy that came in the little. This isn't the right rope. It's just a piece of white string, but this is the spur to hang a rope on. So you can stick this. Where's the hole?
What exactly is the Wyverstone? So the Wyverstone, you see the jagged, pointed parts on these sculpts.
Zoom in. Snap.
Yeah.
Snap in there. This is Wyverstone. It's our fantasy obsidian. So we were trying to figure out, when we were doing this, there was the original Aranthor mountains had these stones that had some vertical sharpness to them. And we wanted to kind of continue some of that because it was fantasy and it felt weird, but it was just like a regular stone that was just kind of like randomly pointy. There was no logic to it. So
do you want me to grab a painted?
Yeah. Grab that little peak. So as dev team, we're like, well, how do we take that same energy and make it cool? And that's what we said, well, what if we do some sort of neat stone that kind of feels magical or whatever? And that was Wyverstone. And it's kind of like obsidian, but it's got like some neat texture, and it's painted with, it has like a blue, purple iridescence to it in the paint, and we just thought it looked cool. And then it was also, because it's magical, that it was providing the lift for the driftstones when they float around. So there's some spires coming up, there's some hanging down, like it's kind of, it stores magical energy.
It's a prototype, so.
Yeah. So that's like a painted prototype of what it looks like. And not everybody loved it. Right, so it's, like, look at that, it's like so awesome. But you could also paint it whatever you want. Like,
that's the thing, is I think these are really good fodder for custom paint jobs.
Yeah. And our theory was it gathers magical energy and can store and maybe even emit magical energy. So that's how these Wyverstones get. The driftstones have Wyverstone embedded in them and charge up and eventually lift up off the ground. They have so much energy, so much magic in them, they lift up and start floating. But they could have other effects, right? So if your players cast spells around it, it could absorb the spell, or if it's already absorbed a bunch of money, maybe a bunch of mana, a bunch of energy, it could then maybe trigger a reaction, or maybe it amplifies your spell if you find a way. You can use some Arcana to tap into it and like use that to like amplify your
maybe it depends on the school of magic.
Yeah, maybe they're attuned to different schools of magic thing, or maybe you know, if you take a action or a bonus action to link into one of them, and then the next turn you can use it to maybe you overcrank your spell. It bumps your spell up by a spell level or something, or like
maybe they're like kind of linked, so you cast a spell into one of them and
you targets out of the other one. Yeah.
A lot of fun stuff you can do. It's just
lots of fun game mechanics you could do with these things.
Yeah.
And also just a way to break up because the mountains were very just gray, and suddenly there's this beautiful splash of color in there that is really nice in the palette. It gives you some visual variety.
Hey, thank you for the raid, Adventurers Pack.
Hello, Adventurers Pack.
How are you guys doing?
All right, so what else can I do? I've got a couple more breads. I'm going to build more.
The purple was a good choice. That's a Nate staple.
Well, the running joke here is like if you're trying to get something approved, just make it purple, because it's no secret that my favorite color is purple, and I love purple in every which way.
I remember during Hellscape when Hamster showed you like 2 samples for like the Howling Devil. He's like, I got a red one and I got a purple one. You're like, it's not even a question.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, Hamster. What do you? Wait, pan up. Let's see the. Let's see. I was like, this isn't even a. You're not even trying.
Last week, Mace was spot on with giveaway time. We're almost done with the test shots, so we'll do the giveaway right after the test shots, just to have a nice clean break.
Yeah.
Great looking sculpts. Actually, just picked up my first set of dungeon tiles, and I'm very excited to use them.
Woo!
Hey, awesome. Which set did you go with? Like Zoltar's Game Room or a Starter Dungeon? Can we get a test shot as the giveaway? Unfortunately, no. We need to hold on to the test shots.
We can after we're like once we're into production fully and we have samples from the factory, we could give away some test shots on there.
Yeah, but we need to hold on to these at least until we
hit production. It was surprising how often we end up having to reference these things.
Purple Scream Underdark, so it makes sense.
Yeah,
that's Nate's thing.
Dude, I just love. I mean, it's just it's the color of majesty. It's really like who does like purple? Just
give away unpainted test shots for an alternate paint contest.
Ooh,
that could be fun actually.
That could be fun. You'd only enter if you are willing to paint it and then submit your thing, and then the winner wins like a gift card or something.
Yeah, that could be cool.
That's a fun idea. Oh, and we have some Wyverstone popping up in some of the other pieces too, right? So it's just like it became this really neat recurring theme that kind of popped up all over the place.
Yeah.
As well as we put bases in all these things, rod holes, so we could suspend a bunch of. Oh, let's do it off here.
6 is here. What has he missed?
Hey,
you haven't missed
6.
You haven't missed the giveaway, so that's the important thing.
Well, is it for 6?
Yeah, there's a little shot in Freud in that, yeah. You won the giveaway. Let's see. Started with Starter Dungeon, but the puzzle room is next. Lever Chamber's a pretty good starter set.
Lever Chamber is awesome.
Yeah.
It's got everything.
Lever Chamber, Zoltar.
Well, I designed, particularly those early encounters, I designed them so that it would give you good variety if you bought, if you got them, you wouldn't have too much overlap. So if you bought like 1, 2, and 3.
Let's see. Lever Chamber and Deadly Corners, Chef's Kiss.
Deadly Corners
is also very good. We've got a lot of good little dungeon rooms.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be one of the best. I think that might be the biome that we were like kind of best off in.
If you did Zoltar, Lever Chamber, Deadly Corners, you'd have everything plus like a floor pack would be like the perfect. Boom, boom, boom. That guy there. What else? Oh, I didn't use this guy. Let's put a little.
It could be fun. Maybe that's a thing we could do for the next anniversary. Is we do a raffle early on, and like people can enter for like the painting contest thing. We do a raffle to get the entrance, and then have people. We send out some unpainted test shots, and yeah. So the prize is the fact that you got some unpainted test shots.
Yeah.
But yeah. Will the driftstones hang upside down with a magnet holding it in place?
What do you mean? That confuses me.
Oh, like if you have like a magnet up here and you put the driftstone like underneath the magnet.
I'm curious. If the magnet's strong enough, what would you?
Probably easier with a smaller driftstone.
I'm curious. It's a cool idea.
I'm pretty sure with the magnets and stuff, we're gonna see some people do things we never thought of, like that one build where they put terrain trays on the side and then like use the
Dave
burrows.
Moffat? Who was that?
I don't know who. It wasn't Dave Moffat. It was a cathedral build where it was like a massive.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was. They had a terrain tray on its side and then used the burrows to make a cross section of like an ant burrow.
I was thinking one where I think it was Dave Moffat did terrain trays upside down with stalagmites hanging on them that became stalactites, and then did a thing like, I don't know, look at that.
David says it was him? Yeah, David did the stalactites. Yeah. So we see people do like some creative things. We've seen some cool uses of like the light panels too. Somebody put the light panel like over the build upside down and did like a cool, I can't remember who did that one either. But yeah, people do some stuff that we never think of with the pieces.
That's the fun.
Yeah.
You release a bunch of open-ended tools out there. And
Captain Rob says, I started with Sinister Dungeon Lair a couple of months ago. And now I have to have everything.
Sinister Dungeon Lair is a great one to start with. I forgot about that. That's a good. You have cool dressing pieces, and you've got some cool bread and butter pieces, and like, yeah.
Susalem's bringing up the disco floors, which
floor was sick.
Two people thought of making
disco floors out of the light panels. Like,
that was so cool.
It's amazing. All right, I used all the. Oh no, I didn't use this one. Okay, we'll do more.
Let's see.
Driftstones.
I wasn't too sure about Zoltar's game room at first, but it's actually on my wish list now that I have a good base with my classic remastered core. I feel a little more confident about my ability to utilize the pieces in Zoltar as well after already having a pile of bread and butter to work with and add to.
Remastered, the classic core plus the Zoltars is like a perfect combo.
Yeah. First set was a starter dungeon. Didn't know if it would survive my kids. Now I have to have all the things. We really need to lean into that part of the advertising more, I think. Just like, you can actually have the stuff around your kids and it's okay.
Oh, it's the absolute best. It's not just okay. It's like...
Dogs are still questionable, but kids...
No, dogs are no good.
Yeah, a dog will tear that stuff up.
But, well, as I like to say conventions, the Dwarven Knight is vulnerable to piercing damage.
Do we know what's included in the new Vaulted Dungeon Pack? Have we finalized the...
Yes.
We should get that...
It's identical to the classic core.
Yeah.
The one that we don't have yet, we were trying to do a classic mega and whatever, but we need to remaster some pieces, and I don't know when that's going to happen. Oh, that was too small. Ooh, I could do this.
Yeah, that's the thing with the classic dungeons. There's a couple pieces that was that like diagonal wall.
We need to resculpt the diagonal wall. That one is a train wreck. But yeah, we need I can't remember what the stairs down floor, the curved corner, the diagonal. What else were we salvaging from?
Eric says, first purchase was a DF starter set. Now I live inside a Dwarven Forge castle.
I like this guy. Good taste.
Need more secret doors and dungeon sets. That piece is
the secret door. Yeah,
well, the funny thing is a lot of people have secret doors and they don't realize they have secret doors.
Yes, particularly the secret door corner. That one is...
Yeah, the secret door corner, we authentically will get customer service tickets where they're like, I just got a regular corner instead. And it's like, are you sure? Have you tested it?
Chuck does this all the time. He's like...
And it's like, yeah, no, it's sculpted so well, it hides it so well.
Yeah, that one's amazing. Better than the regular straight secret door. We're gonna retool do a little chicanery on the straight secret door and make it even more secrety. Double secret.
Painted the bottom of his... Yak says he painted the bottom of his
red
corner so that he could find it easily. Yeah.
I painted all mine red. Yeah, we got a bunch of Wyverstone. bunch of hanging driftstones. It's like a thing.
What test shots are you still waiting for? Basically, just some of the specialty pieces, really.
The Oblivion Nexus,
yeah,
the Bayou Barge, the Oracle Pool, the we don't have Ventura yet.
We're super close to done. We really have like all the bread and butter.
The Spore Claw. I think that's it. I think we're down to we're down to 10 pieces or something that we don't have test shots on yet.
Can we talk KS8 beans, please? Soon. We're almost done with it. Ended up spending more time on the Driftstone build than we thought.
Let's do the giveaway.
Cool. Roll the giveaway now. Should the password be abs? What do you think?
Sure.
All right. Hang on.
I would do rock hard abs in one word, but that's
rock hard abs in one word.
No, that's too much.
That's too much. Okay, I'll just do it.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Let's do it? Okay.
Well, since when have we ever turned the volume down?
That's
right?
fair. We've had Ham Jammer in there and stuff. So
turn down for
Ham
what?
Planet.
As they
all right.
say.
So rock hard abs, all one word. If you want to enter this giveaway, if you are in the U.S., you can be eligible for either a basic Caverns Core set or a $50 gift card because we're currently out of the starter dungeon, but that will be restocked soon. TM.
Can't believe we ran out of starter dungeons.
They're selling, man.
We gave them away every week.
They're selling. It's true. People weren't picking that. They're usually picking the gift card.
Yeah.
But if you're international, you can still enter, and if you win, you can get a $50 gift card. So, rock hard abs. We'll roll it in a few minutes. In the meantime,
rock hard abs.
We've got a fan build.
Bum, 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 bum.
Whenever you're ready to go to it. I know you're doing this.
Do it. Hit
All right, cool.
Let's
this one's pretty fun. We're looking at some resin today.
Ooh.
This one's submitted by Packarat, who's a long-time long-time collector. He's also a brilliant hobbyist. And so this is a Realm of the Ancients build that he populated with just a bunch of plants, stuff like that, and he made just like this whole sprawling.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that, right? Like, it's really phenomenal what people get away with. I think some of these are like aquarium plants, and some of them are. He sourced them from like a lot of different places, but like.
He's got a lot of Realm of the Ancients.
He does. Like that's a lot of coverage. It's gorgeous. He posted it today. I'm not sure if he built it recently or if it's just like an older build he popped out, but I saw that and it's just like wow. Yeah, like look at that sprawl. Like,
it's so good. What's nice is the white of Realm of the Ancients really pops against the plants. Like it's super conducive to.
It's an aesthetic that we don't really have covered in Dwarvenite yet. I don't think. Like it's the texture, the texture of the whole thing is very unique.
Think it would. I don't know how well it would convert to Dwarvenite too. It's like
we'd have to resculpt.
Well, the detail is very fine. Although I guess take it back. We can get this. If we can get this Michelle detail in these things, we could probably get that. Like some of the mosaic floor bits the texture's so tight. I don't know.
Oh, Packarat's here.
Yeah.
He said he built this several years ago. How long did it take you to put all this together? Like all the attention to detail and just how populated this thing is really incredible. Like all that plant life.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's a really impressive build. Also, how many sets of Realm of the Ancients was this? Because it's a lot.
Like 2 of each of Realm and Realm 2?
Could inspire a nice alternate paint scheme for dungeons. Well, it's got kind of like a different. It's almost got a kind of. I don't want to say like ancient, like it's a kind of a Greco-Roman thing to it.
Yeah, Stefan was aiming for kind of Egyptian. But
I could see that.
It kind of feels like this weird, perfect kind of mysterious mix of Roman, Greco-Roman or Egyptian, or it's just sort of this kind of mysterious old world feel to it. It's pretty. Realm of the Ancients is pretty awesome.
Could you imagine that with like a marble paint job?
Yeah, if the floors had some
Yeah.
White marble madness.
The pillars. Packarat says 6+ sets, several evenings on the build, weeks on the plants.
Weeks.
It's a lot of plant life, but it looks so natural. Like it genuinely just looks
Yeah.
Like even though you're not actually like bursting through the pieces, it looks
It's
like
the way ruins would get overrun by plants. Like it's really.
It'd be really fun to do a thing just like talking about how you can bring in dressing to punch up your sets.
And go to the aquarium store and go nuts.
Aquarium stores are bank for coming up with like good little like if there's not like an existing mini of it.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of fun nonsense there.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of fun nonsense.
Yeah. Gotta love greenery scenery.
Greenery scenery.
All right. Should we roll this giveaway?
Yeah. Let's bring the rock hard abs.
Rock hard abs. 102 people.
Woo!
Entered. Wow. How about 170 watching?
So you only have like a 1% chance of winning.
Yeah. All right. Let's go. 6, 3, 2, 1. Lex Mill 93. I think that's I think it's your first time winning. I don't think you've won before.
Well, congrats, Lex Moo.
Yeah, congrats. Let me find you in here.
You get a $50 gift card. What are you going to spend it on?
Yeah, it's true. Lex Mill 93. I'm going to whisper you real quick. We just need to get your email, and I'll get that set up for you.
Let me try something. If I move you. And you, I'm going to take you. Oh, ho, ho.
Perfect. Awesome. All right, that's been sent. So you should have a message from me if you check the upper right, or it's popped up on the bottom of your screen. If you're on mobile, I don't know where it goes, but yeah. Just let Dwarven Forge know if they give me a $50 gift card, I'm incapable of not spending under $300. You can use those floating pieces in a Flash Gordon build. That's true. All right.
Save every one of us.
Well, 8:16. Did we show all the test shots?
I don't know. I think so. I don't. Yeah.
Is that a Aerothor piece we haven't shown?
Where?
That right there, or is that a
this? No, we've shown this.
Did you
I
show
think
it?
there's the end cap, the
end cap left
end cap.
I think. I can't remember which one is which.
Well, it's either the left or the right. So my general naming convention.
It's either the left or the right.
is 50-50 on that one. My general naming convention is you figure out which way the energy of the piece goes, and that determines your direction. So if it's stairs and they're curving up, the direction they're curving up is the way they go. So if they're curving up to the left, they're left. If they're curving up to the right, they're right. Does that make sense? So you're looking at them from the front. Well, I don't know. I can't remember if the front is from that side or from that side. So if it's from that side, this would be.
I feel like that would make this.
This would be right, and it's from this side. I think it's left. It's got to be this way. So I think this is right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's right. Because like
left.
The nature of the way you build with that.
Well, you can go either way, but that's the general flow is it's sort of so the rising wall right is the one that rises up pointing to the right, and the rising wall left is the one that rises up to the left. That's fine.
Thought left was sinister because of the path of evil. Dude, when I was doing a red wall, I did this red wall one shot for Thanksgiving a couple years back, and I wrote a riddle and I used.
Was anybody a turkey? Because
no.
Thanksgiving.
No, we did have a fruit bat.
Sinister, you said.
The closest thing we had was a fruit bat.
Okay.
I used sinister as a synonym for left in one of the riddles. And I think
Dexter
that was
Sinister.
I think that was the hardest.
Yeah.
For them to parse.
Yeah, no, that's a little.
It's not used anymore.
No.
Back in my day, though.
When you spoke in Latin and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that there's a whole series. I read the first Redwall book when it came out.
There's a lot. There's like over 20.
Yeah, I didn't know they wrote any more after that.
I think that was the first celebrity. He wasn't really a celebrity. I think it was the first like public figure death that like affected me. Because I was very into those books growing up, and he died fairly young of cancer, which was unfortunate.
So the moral of the story is, play with your toys while you're here.
Yeah. According to my son, they're all very similar. There's a point. So yeah, there's definitely very strong similarities between most of them. Sometimes to its detriment, but there's also something cozy about it. The fact that there's a kind of a consistent tone through it. There's just something very nice about it. But yeah, I don't know. As children's books,
name Asmodeus.
Asmodeus? I don't.
Yeah.
The snake is Asmodeus. I think it's literally a snake in the first book. Might be Mossflower.
No, that's the snake in the first.
In the first book.
I mean, it's the only book I read, so that's what I remember.
Because they use snakes pretty often.
Yeah, because what else? Think of what's a better threat for mice?
I love that there's like
An owl.
one horse in the whole thing, and
A horse.
there's a horse in it, and like his entire thing is just like
Horse.
he's basically like roped in it. The weird thing about it is like I think he's like hooked up to a cart and stuff, but you never see a human. So it's like, okay, so what put the horse in this situation? Like why is there a horse in a stable with like a cart on him?
Maybe there's horses with opposable hooves that did it.
But yeah.
Yeah.
And
anyway.
he's also like very not up to speed on what's going on.
He's a slow horse.
Slow horse.
Yeah,
But
fair. Speaking of slow, Wildlands is shipping a little late, right? So we are, right now the current estimates are our first batch of stuff is going to hit the water in August, which means we'll start shipping it in September, hopefully, assuming everything goes fine and nothing gets caught in customs like the time the lizard men got stopped in customs because they thought they were real lizards. American customs, nonetheless, right? This is on the
Oh God, we're shipping a bunch of stuff that has like plant life in its name.
Yeah, no, I know. So, assuming all goes well, but so then we don't know when if the second batch of stuff, then it's the water in September, then that's going out in October, question mark, and then it means the third wave is getting on the water in October and going out like in November, December, which is the worst possible time to ever be shipping anything. So anyway, the moral of the story is we're not entirely sure when all the Wildlands is going to get out. Maybe it'll be faster than that, right? Maybe we don't know until everything is actually cast and painted and packed and in the water.
Sapila says, is it coming through California? If so, it ain't shipping in September. Because I've heard the stories, like, there's boats that are just being told, like, unless it has, like, certain materials in it, like, you're not allowed to...
Well, the good news is sometimes I feel like they usually dock in New York.
Yeah.
Which is much better for us because they're just going from New York to Connecticut warehouse.
The main thing is shipping is just really hard to predict right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, and who knows, a boat could get stuck in a canal. I don't know, anything. But anyway, we don't know when it's going to happen. So this means we are not going to launch our city's Kickstarter in October. So you heard it here first. We are officially not launching our city's Kickstarter in October. We don't entirely know when because we want to have Wildlands already shipped before we launch it, or at least like the bulk of it shipped. So I'm guessing that we will launch the very beginning of 2020. What year is it now? 2022.
Yeah.
Whatever the next year is. But we don't entirely know. And it's twofold. So one is we want to deliver what we said we'd deliver before we ask for a bunch of money again for another thing. And two is, well, there actually is threefold. Maybe it's probably fourfold. I don't know. I'll just start counting folds. So the number one is we want to give you the thing we said we'd give you before we ask you to throw down a bunch more money for a bunch more stuff. There's only like so much fairy dust you can sell people before they're like, and our amount of fairy dust is one Kickstarter's worth of fairy dust is our limit.
Yeah.
So then the two, just team bandwidth is like shipping this stuff. It's a rigmarole and getting everything ready for the web store and the whole thing. Like it takes a lot. So to try and launch, and this is our biggest and most complicated Kickstarter yet. So trying to ship our biggest, most complicated Kickstarter at the same time that we're launching our next big, complicated Kickstarter is just terrible in terms of grinding the team. And I don't know how like Wormwood pulls it off, or some of these companies, CMON or whatever, that are just like, they're doing like 4 a year and just jamming them out. Like I don't know. We that's not in our wheel. Like
I mean,
we don't operate that way. I don't know
Wormwood,
how we just don't have it.
For Wormwood, at least part of the answer is that they have like 4 times the amount of employees that we
more.
have.
Don't they have 100 people or something?
I heard 80 at one point, but that was a while ago. So it's that's part of it.
Yeah.
Somebody asks, can we please open up the address for changes in Wildlands Kickstarter? Anytime, if any of you are moving and you need to change your address, just email customer service and we will handle it for you.
Customer support.
Customer support.
Customer support at dwarvenforge.com. If you want everything just in one shipment, we can do that. If you need to move your thing, just email us and we will take care of you. We'll make sure you get your stuff. Email us at customersupport@dwarvenforge.com. Whatever you need, we'll make it work for you.
Yeah, up until we're like literally sending this stuff out, we can do that for you.
We've accommodated some strange requests. We've had, everything from like ship 1/4 of my order home, ship 1/4 of my order to my office, ship 1/4 of my order to my parents' house, and ship 1/4 of my order to an unmarked P.O. box so my wife doesn't know how much I ordered. We had BioWizard like shipped his stuff to Valoria because he's from Canada. He wanted to save on shipping, so he's like, just send it right to your office and I'll come pick it up in 4 months when I'm coming down to America. Or people, we'll take care of you. You have like a unique shipping needs, we'll do our best we can to take care of you. There have been all sorts of weird shipping requests. So that was 1 and 2 is sort of first give you the terrain before we ask for more 2 team bandwidth. 3, we could use the development time. To be honest, we're not ready. We're not going to be ready.
So far, it seems like people aren't really. Some people are saying that they're kind of sad because they're looking forward to it, but for the most part, people are saying that they appreciate having more time to save up and they appreciate getting to see Wildlands before.
Yeah, it's important. All of that, and we're just not we're not ready. Like we've got a bunch of stuff moving, but we're trying a few things that are taking longer than we think, and I don't know. We just need more. It just takes time. All this stuff takes time. You know what it is? There's also there's the hidden time cost of a Kickstarter that is like, so it's, as soon as you finish a Kickstarter, like the work, you're only halfway there or a third of the way there. There's still like there's so much work. Like Wildlands, like fulfilling Wildlands, I don't know. You forget like how much there's a lot that has to happen to fulfill Wildlands. So it's not like we can just like, oh, the second Wildlands was down and we can just start working on the city and have nothing else to do. It's like between trying to overhaul our website, trying to overhaul our web store, reconfiguring a bunch of sets, and delivering Wildlands on top of developing the new one. It's just like, I don't know. There's only so much bandwidth.
We have a couple people in the rest of the world that are wondering how they factor into the shipping timeline, if they're like in a certain wave or...
Honestly, I don't know. I think what I think is going to happen is, depending on where you are, we have. I think we're going to have a boat going to UK or the EU, I guess, going to our German warehouse. Probably the first batch will be one boat going to the German warehouse, which will then kind of handle all of Europe, and then the boat going to the US will handle Mexico, Canada, the US, and a few other, like Brazil and whatever. Like we've got a couple of things that come out from here. I think we even I think Israel ships from here, and I don't know. There's some, Jay has like a master plan. But then Asia, like I believe New Zealand and China and Japan and Australia ship straight from the warehouse. So I think you'll generally, anybody that's international outside of Canada and Mexico, like anybody that's not on the continental US will be slightly behind the other thing, but will kind of be on their own hubs. And then Canada we get the stuff here and then bundle up a whole thing and it goes up to Canada from here, and I believe down to Mexico also, and whatnot.
So it's not that rest of world is like going to be in wave 3. What it is the waves aren't about where you live. The waves are about the pieces that you got.
Yep. So the first wave will be mostly forests. The second wave, mostly swamps, maybe. And the third wave, everything else, and the light puck. I don't entirely know. Like the more we don't know what it is exactly yet until it's on the water. But we will get you your stuff as fast as we can, and there will be it'll be in the updates, right? We'll tell you every month. We'll send out an update, and we'll tell you exactly what's going on. And as we get closer to shipping, we'll probably end up sending, 2 updates in a month or 3 updates in a month, whenever there's news to be had. we will give you updates. Also, if you watch the show, we'll give you updates. So as soon as we actually have dates and movement and times, whatever, we will tell you.
Yeah.
And know this, we will get you your stuff, right? We have run, how many Kickstarters? 7, 8 Kickstarters.
Yeah, because
this is our eighth. Wildlands is our 8th Kickstarter, right? So we've run 8 Kickstarters. We've delivered on 7. This is our 8th. We will deliver your stuff. It will not be on time, but you will get it, and it will be worth waiting for. And if you have any trouble, email us at customersupport@dwarvenforge.com, and we'll do everything we can to make sure we can do you right.
This is really important for us to say, too. Somebody's wondering how shipping costs work if it's different shipments. You do not have to pay anything else. All of your shipping was taken care of when you paid in the Kickstarter and the Pledge Manager. There's no extra costs related to it coming in extra waves.
Yeah, we're eating those costs.
Yeah.
That's on us.
Yeah.
So... yeah, that's a good question, and we'll put that in the next update too.
Yeah,
that
I know some people...
even if it came in 7 waves, you paid the 1 shipping. That's it. We're done. We're not going to ask you for more. It is done.
Yeah, you guys paid everything you needed to pay, unless you never settled your Pledge Manager. In which case, if you haven't, please.
Did somebody not finish their Pledge Manager?
I've never heard of it, but if somebody hasn't, if you're realizing, oh yeah, I never did the Pledge Manager.
No, there are always, every Kickstarter, there's some people that never complete their Pledge Manager.
Let's see.
Sometimes for large sums of money. There's like...
You guys ever thought of doing a Loot Crate style subscription? We do not have the bandwidth for it, is the main thing.
A lot of people have asked.
And the totals we would have to do it in would make it prohibitive.
Here's the other problem is, how do you know... I mean, it would have to be like at least $100 a crate. And how do you know the person's getting something that they don't already have? And how do you just build... Do you want to give them variety? Do you want 1 month you give them a dungeon, the next month you give them a cavern, the next month you give them cities, or do you just go all the same thing? Like, it's just... And then, I don't know, we wouldn't be able to fulfill... Like, the bandwidth of fulfilling all that, I can't even...
Will the battle boards and terrain trays go out with the biomes or all at once?
No idea.
Yeah, we don't know about those yet. The dice,
the
dice we're pretty sure are going out in first wave, right?
Dice will be in the first wave.
Yeah. Battle boards and terrain trays, we don't know the production timeline exactly yet.
I bet the texture mats might go out in the first... I don't know. We will let you know as soon as we know what's on the first boat.
The reason we're doing
first batch of boats.
The reason we're doing it this way is it's not us deciding to send things out at certain times. It's what is the factory going to get ready, and we're sending them out in waves so that you're not waiting for all of it to be done to get any of it.
Well, and it's easier. Frankly, it's easier for our warehouse to, instead of getting 6 containers all at once, if you spread it out, boom, boom, it's easier for them to receive it and ship it and go.
Also, if you do want us to hold on to it and ship it all at once, we can do that though, right? If you'd rather get it all at once, contact customer support. We'll put a note on it, and the warehouse will hold on to your stuff until they have it all.
Yep, this is true. And it's we're basically anything that's done and ready that we can bundle up, we will. So I don't know. We won't know exactly. We're trying to do all the forest stuff, but maybe there's some other things that sneak in there. I don't know. We will see. What month is it right now? It's June. Wow, so it's happening fast, actually. So that's August.
Everything's always happening sooner than you expect. Let's see.
How are they?
Timeline for Resin? Resin will probably be in the third wave, probably.
I have no idea. I haven't seen it yet, so I assume it's in the third wave.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm guessing it's not going to be the very beginning of August that boat hits the water. Just based on, we haven't, I don't know.
Do you guys run the warehouse, or is that a different group? We rent out space in the warehouse. We don't, it's not like our people running the warehouse.
It would be cost effective for us, or it would just be a pain because we are a famine and flood sort of thing, right? So 90% of the year, we have nothing, we're just, a dozen orders and it's, going boom, boom. Then a few times a year we have these restocks and suddenly we get 400 orders in a day.
Well, because suddenly our restocks are doing way better.
And then once a year we have a Kickstarter roll in where suddenly they've got 4,000 orders to fulfill. So the scaling up and scaling down is nuts. That's why it's awesome. We're a tiny little drop in this big warehouse, so they have a whole bunch of people, so they just move people over that to our stuff and whatever. It's much more efficient. The downside is We can't do, like, Die Hard Dice writes nice little handwritten notes and puts them in your bag, and Wormwood will throw a flyer or a sticker in your thing or whatever, because they have their own warehouse, their own people and whatever. So it's like, we don't have the power to just throw, do those nice little hand touches or put in that thing, or if you recognize someone's name coming through, you throw them a little something or whatever. Like, we don't have that capability. And even if we want to put a flyer in a package, it costs us $1 or $2 just to put a flyer in a thing.
We do try to do those touches just when it comes to like customer support, and also just like we pay attention to like who shows up here all the time, who's active on the forums, who's active on the Discord. The team tries to know as much about all you guys as possible.
We love you guys outside of being we're not fulfilling your stuff. But
we're just not in the warehouse.
Replacements we do from here. Casey ships replacements out from the other room.
Will you publish dates once you have them? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as we know any details about anything, we're going to be letting you know, either here in the Kickstarter updates. I'll post about it on the forums when we have set dates. Like, I'm going to make a forum post about all this stuff after the stream's over.
Well, we will put it in the updates, the Kickstarter updates will have all the latest. We'll blast this stuff out.
Upcoming restocks are unaffected, yes. This is not affecting our restock plans.
Nope.
So the stuff that's on the restock list right now, all of that is happening.
Yeah, that's already in the water and en route. And the next one should theoretically land on time. We'll see.
Chuck's helping answer a lot of these questions too. We have a lot of stuff coming in. I'm trying to make sure we get through all the questions. So if I missed something, let me know. Vaults of Diagonals are still coming late 2021. I believe that's on for the restock after this.
We ordered them at some point. I don't remember. It's such a long, it's like 6 months from when you order the thing to when you get it, so I forget which thing is in which. And we've had a lot of, like, we've already had 2 or 3 restocks this year, haven't we? And we have another.
We had that dry period because of
There was something in January. We just had one. Yeah. We have another one that's coming up in a month, and then we have one in August or September.
Yeah.
And we might have one that lands in December.
I think we've got 2 or 3 more planned through the end of the year.
So that's a lot. Like, I don't know which one is where.
Hellscape Core, Magma Rivers. Yeah, the Hellscape restock, I'm not sure, is that hitting end of this year or beginning of next?
It might hit December. The dream scenario is it lands before Christmas.
Yeah. A little Christmas in hell.
Yeah. We
should put you in the Asmodeus costume and give you a Santa hat and do a little Christmas video. Let's see.
What was the Hellscape?
6 months lead time in COVID world, or even before the pandemic? Even before the pandemic. Just the nature of running that stuff. And then the pandemic made it more unpredictable. Like, the last restock showed up early somehow.
You know what we can show next week, I think? She's really close. Erin's been painting the Hellscape, the natural bridge in Hellscape, and the Caverns Core, those extra pieces in Caverns Core, and the Caverns Core Advanced. Oh, wait, let me see if there's one. Hang on. I can show this one. I'm so excited.
I'll answer as many of these as I can. In the meantime, LED lantern posts, ever again unpainted. LED lantern posts are coming. I'm not sure which restock they're in, but we did put in an order for those. I think they're the one after the first fall restock, I believe. I need to look back at the sheets, because we have like 3 restocks left. But LED lantern posts we did get on the list. Those are coming. The restock tab on our new menu shows what's coming next. Yeah, I believe the next 2 restocks are available on the front page. If you go and look, you can see the one that's coming in about a month and the one that's coming in like 2.5 months. How about Dread Hollow Trees? We're getting... let me switch over to that.
I think So this is not finished. She didn't finish the upper half, and whatever. But look how this is the gull wing corner from the cameras. Look how I'm so excited to see these little these bits that feel like magma flow. It's like a really there's so much stuff in the way. You can't get any light on it, but it's there you go. Excited. Like this extra Hellscape stuff is going to be like we have these Hellscape pieces are just. It's just what we need. Like,
I'm really excited that we're expanding that range.
Dude, the natural bridge in Hellscape is so good.
KS8 title idea. We need those. That's actually why we delayed it. Is we just haven't thought of a name yet.
Title.
That's the important thing. All the pieces.
Did someone have an idea?
Uptown works both for having fancy stone and for the new city elevation options.
Uptown Girl. Yeah.
Uptown World. She's been living.
We built this city on rock.
We built this city on rocks. Built this city on rocks.
Rocks. Yeah, I mean, it just tells itself. It's a,
Let's see. All right, there were more questions we need to make sure we get through.
yeah.
Somebody was asking. Somebody was like, "Oh, so are we doing sci-fi in October instead, or something?"
We're not going to do any terrain until we get this the rest of this terrain delivered.
Yeah.
I don't know when. I don't know when we're going to do sci-fi yet. We have to figure it out. It is really a big. So we were describing the other day. The problem with sci-fi is it's something that we're all really excited about. It's not like a throwaway, like one-off. It's like it's something that across the board everybody's like super excited to do sci-fi and like go into a whole new world, so to speak, and just tackle everything, a different feel, a different look, whatever. But there's so many different directions to go, and we don't want to paint ourselves into a corner. And like just doing this one, whatever we're doing, a 10 or 12 piece set, it's just the tip of the pyramid, right? It's that tiny bit of the iceberg at the top that you can see in the whole rest of the thing. So it's like trying to figure out whatever we do there, we don't want to limit the rest of this pyramid that we're building out. So it's like it's kind of like we have to figure out like a whole Kickstarter's worth of sci-fi in order to do a 10-piece sci-fi set, if that makes sense. Like we just want to make sure it all works as a bigger whole. What do we want to do so that we make sure that this one segment we do makes sense for the bigger? So it's like,
yeah.
I mean, we don't have to do it that way, but that's how I want to do it, because we want to make sure
we want to be able that like this set isn't the only thing we do.
And this is the springboard that gets us to the next thing, and can open up, get people excited for where it could go and all this thing. Like, so it's really like it requires a lot of development. It's wow.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. It is on our mind.
Foundations and fascias? Facades? Foundations and facades? There were more questions. Well, what were the rest of the questions? A couple people were asking if the restocks we've been doing were helping with our ability to kind of delay this Kickstarter. People are worried about our cash flow, basically. And the reality is the restocks over the last year have been performing better than I think we've ever had them perform before.
We're a little worried about our cash flow too, in that like we normally have some influx of cash in terms of Kickstarter. So we're gonna figure something out. I know people have been clamoring for a pre-order, which is also a thing that
stuff. Yeah. So people are asking about like a pre-order where the thing with taking resin over to Dwarvenite is unfortunately we couldn't just take the same molds and put it in Dwarvenite. It's not that simple.
Yeah, that's got to be a Kickstarter.
Yeah, there's more funding involved.
The big transmutation.
Yeah, because we got to change the scale a little bit. We gotta.
No, because the whole scale gate is because we made our original Dwarvenite dungeons not true scale, so they would match the resin. So the resin dictated the slightly smaller, the 49.5 to 50 millimeter footprint instead of, it should have been 50.8 millimeters, but it was between 49.5 and 50 millimeters to match the resin. So the resin, all the dungeons, the caverns, all match the sizing of the resin. So that's the one thing we don't have to change. Unfortunately, I wish we had to.
What about Build of the Months? Still too busy with Wildland and KS8. Could they come back if KS8 is delayed?
We put yes, we put it on hold for right now to figure that out. And I don't know. Well, at some point we'll figure it out. What I might do is, in the interim, we might do a lightweight Build of the Month, like just do it as a live stream or something, and like make it like a build challenge of the month or something. Have folks, have kind of people vote, say, hey, what sets should we work with or whatever, figure out what sets we're going to do thing, and then do, maybe it's 2 streams, like a breaking the story and then like actually finishing out the build.
Well, it's
do
one of
2
the
streams
things,
and be done with it, and then maybe then offer a bundle with that or something.
We've mentioned it a couple times. One of the things we want to be doing now, as we're getting back into the office, is there's a lot of ideas we had for stuff we could do with this channel that we had to put on hold because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But we're doing a lot of moving around and stuff here right now, reorganizing things.
But basically, we needed to not have work on video and graphics, video team and graphics team's plate to get all of our other homework done, and particularly stuff like getting ahead of the Wildlands store. So when we get all that stuff out, we can get the rest of it up on the website so you can buy it and yada yada.
I guess we're not really talking about KS8 tonight. Well, we are. It's not, pieces and systems. But
we're due for another.
We need to figure out what we want to talk about with it is the main thing.
Well, we need to show some new stuff too at some point because it's been a little while.
Have we shown any actual sculpt progress?
Not in a while.
Yeah. I think last we saw like some tests for some of the floors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a wall. It's been a bit.
Yeah, there's some stuff, and we've WebDM next week, and then maybe we do it the week after WebDM.
WebDM and Dungeon Dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could do a actually show KS8.
So in 2 weeks we could do it.
It's not even KS8 because it's our 9th Kickstarter. That's why I don't even want to call it KS8.
Yeah, we need to drop the KS.
That's why C2 is my code number for it.
C2 makes more sense. Yeah.
It's Cities 2.
We just need an actual name.
Yeah.
Really interested in the sci-fi survey results. Yeah, we never talked about those because we were wanting to do.
We were going to do it with our sci-fi symposium, which got supplanted.
We could talk about. I mean, we do know what the results were at this point. If we wanted to go over them.
That's a fun. So what would people rather? You want to do a survey? What should we do the week after next? Do we do sci-fi survey results or do we do cities development?
Or, since we're basically doing test shots, would it be early enough that we do sci-fi for like the first 20, 30 minutes? And then do showing off KS8 stuff?
Do both?
Theoretically, because if we're just talking about, because we haven't done the sci-fi symposium yet, so we can't tell you like what the team's thinking. But we could briefly go over the survey results.
I think a KS2, I mean C2 is going to take a whole episode.
C2 will take a long time.
You know what we could do, though? We could do sci-fi and whatever test shots we get in the next 2 weeks. We might have we're definitely due for. Oh, I didn't show the fogger tonight. Oh, well.
Still got 13 minutes.
Fogger? Yeah, we should have fogger. But why don't we do that? Why don't we go over the sci-fi survey and whatever the last bits of test shots we have, and then after our pals the Dungeon Dudes, first week of July, we do a cities update, and then we'd have there should be a bunch of stuff to show by that point.
Yeah, this is the thing. Is if we wait basically a month, we'll have a lot more to show for KS8. Yeah. Whereas with sci-fi, we're not going to have more stuff to show with sci-fi over time because it's not currently being sculpted or anything.
Well, so let's do that. So let me go get the fogger. I don't know where it is. Let me see. Knowing Tyler, it'll have a logical place.
Yeah. Bigger walls and floors for C2. Yeah, I think we've confirmed that we're doing. We're doing some bigger. I didn't just spill that, right? Like we did confirm we're doing like double high walls. Yeah, we confirmed that. If you want people to stop calling it KS8, you should probably change the Discord channel name. That's a great point. I can do that right now. One moment.
I need a volcano.
Edit channel. C2 discussion. There we go. It's changed. Look at that.
Gotcha.
That's a decent day's work right there. Cities 2, City Harder. What up, Price is Right? I'm sorry. I've had it stuck in my head all day. I don't know why. But I just keep going. Bigger, like 1x3? Not 1x3. We talked about doing 2x2s and a 1x2, I believe. We're not going to a 3-inch thing with C2. I'm gonna use the rest of tonight to train myself to say C2 instead of KSA. What is that tune again? It's the Price is Right thing. Change the forum name as well. I don't have power over that, so we're gonna have to. It's weird because the problem is the forums are entirely built around that structure, which is part of the reason why we stuck with it for so long. But it's kind of makes it harder for new people coming in. But if we change the whole thing, it might cause linking issues with the architecture of forums can be very frustrating, just in general. How's the light puck coming? Any news to share? Nothing concrete. We want to do. One of the things we want to do is we want to do an episode when we get it to a point where we have like a bunch of stuff to show you.
The heck are the volcanoes?
Because it's actually, I'm part of the team that's working on getting that ready, and there's going to be some very cool stuff. But the light puck is enough of a thing that we might honestly want to devote. We might want to have its own stream devoted to it, honestly, just so that we can cover like a lot of that stuff. Oh yeah, you've been able to hear Nate this whole time. That's fun. One piece in C2. Oh, I might have been wrong. Oh, 2x4 is what I was thinking.
I got the foggers, but I can't find the painted volcano, which is.
Sometimes because of the different scales, like I think like Dungeon Floor, so I'm like, yeah, a 2x2 and a 1x2, but no, it's a 2x4.
Who's a 2x4?
I was talking about like the new floor shapes we've talked about for C2.
4x4, 2x2, 4x4. I mean 2x4.
Yeah, and I said 1x2 just because I was like thinking about the scale and not the actual like literal inches. Yeah, 2x4.
It's the 1x2 of a 4x4.
Yes. It's because I was building with dungeons and caverns, and we do like the 1x1 and 1x2 stuff there, and yeah.
It's the base 2x2. All right, so here is the new.
A black table.
Yeah. Oh, this is really blown out.
This. Do you want me to hit the blackout and just have this lighting the fog?
No, just stop down maybe a spickle. I think it's the front. There you go. So this is the new and improved fogger. It will be in black. This was a test cast. It's a little hard to see because it's in white, but there's a logo here, which is basically invisible in this light. It says Dwarven Forge, a little anvil. Thank you, Janet. But the big thing is there's this whole area here is a well.
Please stop showing the fogger. I regret not getting it every time.
Oh, you can see the water. So this whole area here is depressed and feeds down into this hole,
Relatable.
Which is the fill hole. There will be a plug for the fill hole, but what you do is you don't have the plug when it's running, and so if you have this thing on, when it's on and you have a piece over it, and condensation builds up, the condensation drops back down into that little depressed area, that reservoir, and it drops back into back in and recycles its own water, which is pretty amazing. So it won't spill out onto your table. Try hitting a blackout. Let's see what happens now that you're. Let's see if it.
What's the worst that happens? You know?
Yeah, you can't see anything. It's the worst that happens.
Might need backlight, but
yeah, stop back down, kill it. Turn the lights back on. I'm gonna just mess with. I bet if I kill. This guy.
Do you need to wipe the inside after?
Yeah, it gets really wet in there. The 11.
I was told there would be no physics. Light puck underneath might help. People are really curious about the light puck.
Yeah,
I was saying like the light puck is a big enough undertaking that it might honestly deserve its own stream at some point.
Yeah.
Just because we're working on a lot of stuff with it. It's difficult to go over it in a few minutes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a stream. It'll be a whole. When we get our final, that chip shortage is killing us a little bit.
Everybody in chat needs to behave.
Why are they misbehaving?
It's not important.
Okay. So this thing, let's see what happens.
Queso Volcano's looking good.
Yeah.
How'd you guys do the fog in your videos? A lot of
Depends
fog
on which
monsters.
kind. We have like a regular fog machine. We have fog monster, and we have a hazer. Sometimes we use dry ice, and sometimes we use this thing. So it depends on.
Remember?
Depends on which fog.
Remember when we needed dry ice for Hellscape, and I called this company, and they literally were like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing a delivery somewhere nearby, so just meet me on the street and give me like $50 cash." And they gave us like all this dry ice. We used maybe a third of it.
Not even. Yeah.
And it was just for the shot with the liquid dwarfenite with Momo sitting in front of it. Yep. That was great.
It was pretty good. And we had dry ice sitting around for like a week. Like, what are we going to do?
We had like a cash street deal for dry ice.
So good. Yeah, I'm going to be in your neighborhood with, I got some fresh block. Pure crystal dry ice. So this, so basically the big change is this reservoir should make it so you won't get a puddle. I don't know, Miles ran it the other day for 5 hours and didn't get a puddle, which is pretty good and continuous. And you get your water back. That's the best part, is it? Like you get more runtime out of it. Well, and you're supposed to use distilled water for ultimate results.
Distilled water for ultimate results. Do we got to do like a comparison video showing the difference?
Yeah. I don't know how. I guess it's for build-up or scaling or whatever inside. It's kind of hypnotic to watch the. I really like fluid dynamics.
We got this thing working really well. Like I'm really impressed with it.
Yeah.
But man, this and the light puck in the same Kickstarter is kind of wild.
Well, this was supposed to be a year earlier, and we finally got it out. Now the light puck is. I think the light puck is going to be the last thing that we ship. I think it's.
Well, it's interesting because there's the physical production part of it, and then there's also like making all the software.
Programming and the actual There's two parts. There's getting the electronics, like sourcing and building out the electronics, building out the casing, programming it, and then much less using it with all the pieces and whatever. That could have been a Kickstarter all by itself. That thing it was like. Yeah, it's people. I think people who didn't get it are gonna be regretful when we show off, because it's awesome.
If you're the kind of DM that wants special effects, anyways, because it's gonna be it's gonna be a beast
for everybody.
It's gonna be a beast.
Yeah. But people that were on the fence and didn't get it will be people. Yeah. Some people are just no, that's not for me. Like I just want to. Excuse me.
Yeah,
I just want to kill players.
I like how you walked away from the mic. That's not on and sneezed into your lav.
Yeah. No, sneeze right into the lav. Good move.
I should have muted it. Oh.
Oh well. I'm just gonna sneeze, Chris. Mute it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The chat is losing it. Like
You should hear a loud sneeze. You should. What was I gonna say? Are there any other questions before we call it a night?
Yeah. Are there any questions regarding KS8 or C2? C2's delay or Wildlands shipping or Driftstones? Anything we showed tonight? Anything that I didn't get around to? Because there was a lot of questions coming in, so we might have missed some. If there's something that hasn't been answered yet, let me know here. We'll try to get through all of them. How are the Underdoom Natural Bridge recolors coming along? Do we have the...
I think we killed them because the minimums were too high.
Yeah, so I
can't remember.
Our genius plan was to...
It was genius.
Split the casting minimum for the caverns pieces by saying like, yeah, if we need like 500, let's do like 300 regular, 100 ice, 100 Underdoom. Yeah. And then they were like, actually, we need 500 of each paint scheme you want to do. Like, it was like, yikes. Okay.
I can't remember what we ended up ordering. I think we did Natural Bridge in Hellscape, and that was it because we were doing Hellscape. Or maybe we managed to get in the ice also.
Yeah, we'll have to check. We had to cut a couple of the things we were trying to do until later, just because the cost was higher than we anticipated.
Don't ever just go into business making physical things. That's my recommendation to all viewers, because it's really a pain.
Is there a chance for a small pre-order or Kickstarter in the interim?
In the interim of what?
Like between now and C2, with C2 being
Um,
delayed.
Yeah, there's a chance for anything. I mean, there's the eternal optimist. I would say there's always yes, there's a chance for.
Would you consider C2 3 biomes with scaffolding as a biome? I would consider the cities as a whole one biome with different skins. Like sewers is its own biome, but
we're not doing.
I would say Tudor and Stone aren't different biomes. They're different skins on the same biome. I would say.
We need to figure out a better way to do pre-orders so it's not a manual process.
The weird thing about doing the pre-orders too,
because that's the main reason. Because pre-orders make so much sense for what we do, and the only reason it's twofold. One, Jay feels weird about holding people's money, and two, it's all manual, so it's not so good. It's a real pain if you get a lot.
Like you did for Pathfinder. Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is Pathfinder didn't.
But I don't think it didn't sell well because it was a pre-order. I think it didn't sell well because we didn't tell anybody we were doing it.
Yeah, we were honestly very overwhelmed at the time.
Yeah, it was not people can't buy a thing if you don't tell them it exists.
We need to reapproach the idea of pre-orders and figure out how we can make it work for us.
Yes.
Better, I think. Because it's a thing that makes sense and we should be offering.
Yes.
There's got to be a way to do it that's functional.
Agree.
Because the weird thing is, so if we wanted to do like an actual pre-order where we don't have to worry about how much you guys buy or anything, we would have to be taking these pre-orders before we actually put the order into the factory, which would mean you're not getting those sets for like 6 months.
At least.
I mean,
we'd start the pre-order, it would take a month or whatever, and then you do the thing. So it's at least 7 months, probably. Let's call it 8 months to be safe, a little buffer. It's basically like doing a Kickstarter.
Yeah. It's the lead time on ordering anything from the factory is
I
large.
think people would be okay with that.
I think if it's something that's hard to get generally, or if it's like a large thing.
Yeah. Because that's the other hard truth that we're running into is that there's a lot of these sets that we're just not going to be able to restock because of minimums and stuff. So like Stairway to Violence is a thing we're currently not going to be able to restock. But if we did a pre-order and had 500 people, or we sold 500 of them in a pre-order, then we could definitely do it.
Yeah, everybody here is saying that 6 months would be fine because it's not like the Kickstarter. It's not as long as like the Kickstarter waits, and we probably just need to try it at some point and see what happens, I guess. Because that is that the only way to make it?
Well, there's a bunch of pieces that are there's some cool specialty pieces that would, I think it's the only way that we could do a print run of them is pre-order or do a reprint Kickstarter for a greatest hits collection or something.
Hoppy Hippo says the bigger problem is what do you do when you don't hit a minimum for a pre-order?
Yeah,
and like
that's the problem.
That's another major thing.
We would have to. I don't even know how we would do it. We
need to save all these pre-order comments to show Jay. That's the thing with a lot of it, right? Is like a lot of the changes we've been making, he was skeptical of, but they've been going well.
But here's the thing: it doesn't matter if 1,000 people say, "Yeah, pre-order's a great idea. I'd love to do it. It's great," and you're like, "Okay, awesome. We're gonna do a pre-order for the Fire Ants," and nobody orders them. Then it doesn't matter if that. We need to make sure that the things that we're putting in the pre-order are things that people want. We could do a survey.
We are a lot better at communication than we
could do a survey and say, hey, here are 50 sets that we're thinking of doing a pre-order for. Which ones, give us the quantity of each of these that you'd be interested in ordering from 0 to 10 or whatever.
You have to do something where people vote with their wallets. Yeah, and that's the main thing is no matter how much we ask, like eventually we're going to have to just take a leap of faith where we actually do it. Because people can say whatever they want in a survey and it doesn't always actually, or they can hit a button that says that they would pre-order this if they could. And that's still different than actually putting the money down. Yeah. At some point, we just need to actually bite the bullet on it and try it.
Well, and in Plaguestone, we had, I don't know, 10 or 15% of the people that pre-ordered never paid the rest of their thing and got their.
Yeah, that's also.
So there's that too, which is, it's fine, like 10%, whatever we can live with. But let's see how much. Look at that. Nothing's leaked on the table. We're getting a little cool, condensations gathering. And,
what's wrong with just ordering 500 Stairways to Violence? Surely you'll eventually sell them all, right?
Well, it's the eventually.
If it takes 3 years.
So
to
let's
move.
let's say it costs $10 per Stairway to Violence, which is not accurate. The numbers aren't great, but
this is
whatever.
Just
say it's cost us $10 for each Stairway to Violence. So we spent $5,000 to order 500 Stairway to Violences, and then let's say we sell 100 of them, and we're selling them for $15. So we just made $1,500. How much did we spend? We spent $5,000. So we're down $3,500, and the opportunity cost on that cash, because then we can't, we need starter dungeons, and we can't spend that on starter dungeons because it's sitting in the warehouse in Stairways to Violence. And sure, maybe they'll sell over the course of 3 years, but at that point, like we're paying to warehouse it. So now we're losing, then another, whatever, $1 a month on them, whatever. So then by the time it ends up selling, we end up just not making any money. / we could have used that on something else. And then you do that times 100 different sets, and you're really in trouble.
Yeah, like there are sets that have been in that store for like over 3 years with like a ton of stock that we have. Yeah, even if we sold them now, we have lost so much money just on holding them for so long.
Yeah, no, they could have been diagonal walls.
Yeah, they could have been vaulted diagonal walls.
They could have been like there's all sorts of they could have turned into a whole bunch of other things. And so that's the sort of the curse for us is like, even if we ordered 500 and we sell 300, we're still not we need to sell 400 of those 500 to be in a decent place, and really we want to sell 500 of those 500.
We have been talking about ways to be able to clear out that stock that is sitting there. Build of the Month was one of the ways that we started trying to do that, like combine like a core set with one of those sets that isn't moving very well. Hidden Gems has been another thing that we started to help move sets where it's like, these are really cool things that aren't getting communicated well. So we're coming up with ways to try and clear up that inventory. And I think we are seeing results. Like we're doing better with store sales than we ever have. But we need to keep moving in that direction.
Well, the problem is we've got 1,500 sets or something and have not clearly communicated why all of them are awesome.
Yeah, which is why we're doing so many.
And some of them are just not the right configuration, or that some of them aren't awesome, particularly in a vacuum or whatever. There's some of them that probably won't sell because it's for whatever variety of reasons. But
I picked up sets I would have bought due to Build of the Month. Yeah, that's part of it. The problem is that people don't understand that they need burrows. Dude, we were just talking about burrows yesterday.
Yeah.
Like it was, because we're looking at what biomes, what sets we think we still need to work on, basically. And burrows is one of those things where it feels like a lot of people don't see why they're great, but the people who have them generally love them.
Do you think people would would a core set for burrows be useful to people? Like hey, here's a couple of chambers and a couple of tunnels that can build a thing that has a price point that's, I don't know, $100 or whatever, that lets you get in to the burrows system relatively easily.
Mostly interested for people who have burrows and are familiar with them. In your opinion, with the existing burrow sets that are in store that you've been getting and using, is there room for a core set that would make it more appealing, I guess?
And I use burrows surprisingly.
They're really cool.
I almost use them more than I use regular dungeon pieces.
Burrows just gets confusing fast. You imagine 3 levels of them, then get lost how to build. Maybe we need some content to help show how to use burrows, because they build differently than anything else we've got.
Yep.
So maybe we need to hit that better. But you can do really cool things with weaving up and down and around things. It's a really cool system.
Yep. Also looks just different than everything else.
Like a new set? Yeah, like a new reconfigured set, like what we've been doing for the other...
No new pieces, but just taking a best of a small chamber and a medium chamber and a couple of curves, a couple of straights, and a couple of end caps, and enough to make hey, here's the quote-unquote core version of burrows. Here's what you need to get started.
Burrows are too expensive to take a risk on if you don't like them, is what Arcane says, which is one of the problems, right? But if we could get like a Cavern's Core style set,
accessible entry point, right? $90 for enough to do something, to do a little Kobold Warren or a Goblin Burrow or a Fire Ant Nest or a Pancake Layer.
Through it, though, and with this next wave of
Baby Purple Worms Playground.
With this next wave of configurations coming in, we've really hit almost all the biomes with like a good, affordable entry point core set, which is not bad work for a year, I think.
I'm second guessing saying we shouldn't take the time to do a Burrows core.
It's one of the only ones.
Yeah.
Because we're pulling the trigger on some of the other ones.
Especially if we have a bunch of orphaned Burrows sets in the store.
That's another thing, too. How do we move the Burrow sets that are there? Because do we just discontinue that set and then start a core set, or do we keep that in stock? Well, is it worth keeping that set as well?
Which set?
The like big Burrow.
The Kree Colony?
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth reordering it right now, but it's like we're not getting rid of the ones that already exist. I don't know.
Yeah.
Man, I could just stare at this fog all night.
You're making a Dread Hollow core? We were talking about that.
It won't happen until after Wildlands is out because we want to do a best of. A greatest hits core that's less expensive than Dread Hollow. Probably a small, like, we're talking about doing a 12x12, maybe 2 different 12x12s that are floor coverage ones that you could then put together to do a thing, and then like a scatter or something so you get all 3 to do the ultimate thing or whatever.
Chris just gave you your first name recognition. We haven't talked about you before. You've been here for a long time. Arcanist Winterbrand.
I've heard Arcanist.
They've been here for a long time. Yeah. Keep it in stock. It takes a while to say. Here's the thing, like it's at this rate, it's going to be in stock for a while.
Which
is part of the problem. It's one of those sets that's been sitting there for a long time.
Which one?
Kree Colony.
Yeah, I don't know how many we have, but it's
I don't think we've ever done a restock of it. It's just still there, right?
I don't know. I really don't keep track of this store because of numbers.
Definitely interested in a Kree Colony build of the month. Put me down as what level?
We did.
What price level is it at?
I think it's $500. We did. What was it called? There were goblins, and I did it in my basement. So it was sometime
was it the Psychotrollic?
No, we did that one also.
Yeah.
Psychotrollic Mushroom Trip. It was
72 painted in the store, says Capel.
Wow. It was after it was right around Psionic Maelstrom.
Yeah. It was near the
front. Oh, it was
it was near the beginning. It was near the beginning of the quarantine.
What was it called? It was...
Will the burrows match up with the Wicked Cavern nest rooms?
No, unfortunately. No. The Wicked... those nest rooms were the kind of the genesis of the burrows, but they weren't well executed. So instead of trying to make the burrows match them, we took all the things that were good out of those and redesigned for the burrows, because there were a lot of things that weren't great about those original ones. I mean, they can sort of line up, but it's not great. What was it called? The build of the month, it was a Goblin Warren with a demonic...
It was called the Demonic Depths.
Demonic Depths. Thank you.
And also Paul said it.
It was...
do we want to say what other reconfigurations along with the Dread Hollow one we were talking about?
Let's see what...
Let it be a surprise.
Yeah, if it because
in case.
There's about 100 ways it could still go off the rails.
That's fair. We'll keep that
like everything we describe here. All right, well, let's call it.
I gotta go home. Let's close it up. If you guys have any other questions, join the Discord and ask there, and we'll answer it there. Thank you for being supportive through just all of it in general.
Everything.
We, as much as the team is happy to be kind of pushing this back so that we don't overload ourselves and put out an inferior product. We don't like disappointing people. We know people have been excited about KS8.
But we're excited too.
C2.
Like
we are. Yeah. So
all of it.
Being the support behind it is comforting.
But we will. So thank you for tuning in. Next week we will have our friends Jim and Pruitt from WebDM on, talking about their Kickstarter, talking about DMing, talking about playing with terrain, talking about talk. Then we'll have the week after we'll do some. We'll talk a little sci-fi, show off some Wildlands stuff. The week after that we have Dungeon Dudes on. And then the week after that, we got cities. Well, we have a plan now for the next month. We have a plan for it.
Which I'm pretty happy about.
The cities update will be awesome. And as always, you should follow Dwarven Forge on all of our socials down below, so you get even more up to date what's going on. I've been posting Instagram stories on our Dwarven Forge Instagram. They're not very good yet because I still. It doesn't weird like it's this annoying thing. I can't just run a continuous video. Like I want to do a 3-minute video, but it like just keeps breaking.
Well, that's
up.
when you got to do an Instagram TV post then.
I just figured out how to just. I can't.
It's okay.
Anyway,
it's all right.
If you want to, I'm on. You can follow me on Twitter. I am at Nate Taylor, NateTaylor.
Not even Nate Taylor DF. You managed to get Nate Taylor.
I was a relatively early adopter on Twitter. I never used it, but I had a friend who's Eric Van Skyhawk, who's like the first on everything. He was the first guy on Vine and the first guy whatever, and he's like, this Twitter thing, it's all blown up, you gotta get a thing. He made me like register on there, and I didn't use it for years.
Do you know how many people beat me to Chris London on like every platform possible?
Probably a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I was like 2009 or something. I don't know. It was early, whatever. Not as early as my brother was on Facebook. He was in the first 1,000 users on Facebook. He was in the same dorm with Zuckerberg, the same build complex, the Cabot House.
So he was there before it was like a big thing.
Well, it was just part of being, just at Harvard, Facebook was their thing. Like it was a digital version of their thing, and so they were in the same dorm building. So he was on it like super early.
All
right.
right.
Did I tell you what? Anyway, you should follow us, and I'm trying to figure out when I was on.
It's all good.
2008.
2008.
August of 2008.
That's actually before I had one. I waited to get it until 2009 when we were using it for our Twitter stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, thanks, Eric Van Skyhawk. I don't remember what else we were telling people. I don't know. Just
doesn't matter.
Tune in. We'll see you. Thanks for hanging out. Congrats to whoever won the gift certificate. I already forgot.
Lex Mill 93.
Lex Mill.
Yes, we'll get you that gift card. Or did you ask for the core or the?
We don't have any.
Caverns core, thanks.
What?
We're doing the basic Caverns core instead of
starter.
The starter because starter's out of stock. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. I think that's it, right?
That's everything. Bye, Kodiak Bear.
Bye, Kodiak. Hang in there.
Bye,
Thanks for showing up. Woo.
Yeah. All right.
Bye, everybody.
I don't have it programmed.